I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed at Chowtown Leiden.
To buy our merch.
Yes, you're listening. Yes, you're listening. Yes, you're listener. We are at the foothills of a mega ultra super stream, dear listener. It's gonna be all over the place. Let's just jump right into it. Imperishable Flames, let's go.
You know how it is. Song number 1 is Asarhaddon, Reyna Album 2020, Song 3. In wahrlich, Ort.
Ein wahrlich, wirrer Ort. That's the best I could do. It is what it is. Shout out to Ray Phoenix. Good to see you, buddy.
All right.
Is there an intro to read?
Comments by Middle Earth. German atmospheric black metal since 2014. Guitar and bass by Christian Koss. Drums by Christian Kircher. Vocals by Anna Nihil. Sung in German. A poetic journey through time and space on crooked paths until the inevitable end of all things. Per their band. Alright, lyrics translated from the German.
Okay, lyrics translated from the German.
Text? How do you want it?
No, I got it already. I took care of it. All right, guys, here we go. Song numero uno.
Let's check it out. Shout out to Middle Earth who brought us this pick.
4:15 on the timestamp. Oh, this is Middles?
Yep.
Okay, good. There should be no more music in the background, so let me know, guys. I'm pretty sure we've taken care of that situation. But okay, here we go. Song number 1 is that band with the German name. Howdy, let's get rowdy. What do you want? Can you boost your mic up a slight bit? Let's see, do this. Oh, it's on the freaking MacBook, that's why. Actually, is this thing plugged in at all?
Yeah, that's why the light's on.
Because this thing is not reading the mic, actually. It's got the mic from my phone or the MacBook mic. For some reason, it's not using our other mic. What the hell's going on?
It's weird.
Unplug that thing and plug it back in.
Hold the computer.
There it is. All right, guys. You should hear us now on the Hypercast. Let's go. You ready? 4:15.
Wait. Oh, I just put this in the wrong one. No, that is the one. Oh, we don't have the right title on it?
What are you talking about? What do you mean we don't have the right title on it?
Are these the bands? I thought those were last night's bands.
Okay, just put the timestamp in there. We can change that, no problem.
Okay, cool. Alrighty.
And you said it was, where were we? Because we were at 14 before, but now it's moved.
What do you mean it's moved?
640. Okay, let's go.
All right, guys, here we go. Song number 1. What was it? What was it?
Oh, 14. Hold on. 14. Yeah, starting at 1453.
Yeah, tell me the name of the band again, because we don't have it in the fan anymore.
Asarhaddon.
Okay, there it is. All right, 14-minute mark. Give me a second. Where is it? The timestamp is what?
Starting at.
All right, so this is Asarhaddon. They're German, and with it 14. So just let this play out till
1453. Yep.
Okay. And that's going to be song 1 for the night, dear listener. Let's go. To where? Okay. That was song numero uno. What do you got going on there?
That
What was going on with you when you were hearing that?
That one just had like a
lyrics?
journey to it, you know, like you were just kind of going places, and it almost had like a sort of positivity to it, but also a finality.
Yeah, it was definitely. Anytime you talk about nihilism, inevitable ends, death, Schopenhauer philosophy, whatever you want to call it, like it's presented as something negative. Like even in Christian circles, when you talk about the inevitability of death, it almost everything is supposed to feel good all the time. It's hard for people to process the fact that you're living in parallel with your own death.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
it's interesting because I'm listening to Lex Friedman, all these people, and they're like, "Oh, like we're the only animals that know we're gonna die." It's like, how could you possibly know that? Like, how could you possibly know that? But like, the idea though that you're going to die and the knowledge that you're gonna die is it's just a parallel fact of life. We try to avoid it because of the finality of what death is and what it means, but it's
I think the finality,
it's unavoidable.
But also the giant question mark, you know, like what is it exactly?
What do you mean?
We be? I think that because, you know, like as Christians, we have an understanding of what the afterlife is, but we don't have a clear, completely defined picture. I mean, we're talking about a creation of the divine, like God created this place, and it's something completely different.
Right. And
so, yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, people don't yet generally get to come back. I mean, there are people who have near-death experiences, and their stories are sometimes good, sometimes not good.
Yeah, the number was like 22% of them were bad near-death experiences.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
I thought that was very fascinating. It looks like when he says emerge from the awake, doubt and fear, no past song, a truly confusing place. That sounds like birth to me.
Emerging from the awake?
You know what I'm saying? It's one form of existence that you thought was all of existence. And then, you know, merrily life is but a dream. So he was awake when he was in the womb, and then he enters into this world, but life itself is a dream. So he's actually emerging from an awake state into a sleep state. It's almost kind of inverted.
I thought it was emerging from the awake, as in you're going to sleep. Doubt and fear, no past song, a truly confusing place. Close your eyes in the dark.
Yeah.
You know, you close your eyes in the dark and then you dream. But yeah.
Accompanied by the sleeping bold. Yeah, I just think the emerging from the awake, doubt and fear, no past song, a truly confusing place sounds like what I always think about kids when they're born. Because you always imagine like, what would it be like? Everything's pretty much set, you know what to expect, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, all these different senses and eyes and all this shit, like, it must be a really confusing, crazy couple minutes, you know what I'm saying?
And cold. I always feel bad for them because it's so cold.
Yeah, they're always cold, yeah.
Yeah, because they were in your warm womb, and then all of a sudden they're like dragged out into the cold hospital room.
Yeah, like even in this, like close your eyes in the dark. When a kid is going to sleep in the womb, you're opening and closing your eyes in the dark. See what I'm saying? Like you're in it. It's kind of like one of those exchanges and negotiations you have to make with reality. If you want enlightenment, that means you're going to lose a certain degree of innocence. Like you can't have enlightenment and innocence at the same time. As a matter of fact, like on a societal level in the Western world, the movement we call the Enlightenment was also the time when we lost our naivete as kids, as far as like belief in God or the necessity of God or things of that nature. So like the birth, the new birth, death metaphors are so important when you're talking about ideas that shift entire paradigms. And that's one of the issues that's happening right now in our culture, is that there's alignments and things like that we usually be able to take for granted that are no longer things you can take for granted. But yeah, this place itself is a confusing place.
Yeah, and then
especially for a kid.
It says, close your eyes in the dark, accompanied by the sleeping bold. Accompanied by the sleeping bold. I don't know if... Okay, so close your eyes in the dark. I don't know if that means, like... there's two ways that you can close your eyes in the dark, right? There's this, like, I'm terrified and I'm, like, pinching them shut. And then there's, like, when I was a kid, like, I always felt like whatever was scaring me in my room, I always felt like if it knows that I'm scared, it's going to make me more scared.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would always say a prayer and then act like a boss. I would just crawl into bed like I was completely fine, even though what I really wanted to do was run in there and cover myself really fast. So when it said close your eyes in the dark, I didn't know if it was like kind of finding your like stasis in that place, because it's got doubt and fear, no path sung, a truly confusing place. But then close your eyes in the dark. It seems like the last thing that you would want to do in a situation where you're emerging from the awake and there's doubt and fear. It seems like the last thing you would want to do is close your eyes in that situation. But then it says accompanied by the sleeping bold.
That's a pretty crazy line. It's a pretty crazy line.
Yeah, what do you make of that?
Well, because like, I mean, right now in our culture, it's like, are you woke or you're not woke?
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating because there are political kind of energies that are against that terminology. But then, like, one of those people messaged me yesterday, well, actually today, and he's like, more and more people are waking up. So it's like, the term woke is a bad concept, but people still see the value in the sleep-waking metaphor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value there. And of course,
Yeah.
you know, we've all watched The Matrix and things of that nature. It's like, closing your eyes in the dark is like, to me, it's like giving up hope that you'll ever find any true light. Because if you jump down, it says he wanders through the night looking for the source of light. So closing your eyes in the dark to me is kind of like saying, I've ceased looking for any sort of light. So I'm going to close my eyes in the dark. And you know what Jesus said, if your eyes are darkness, because your eyes are the windows of your soul. If your eyes are darkness, and how great is that darkness? Because he's saying like inside of you is like completely black.
Yeah.
So like that line was really, really provocative, because especially in our community, man, like people in our community, I'm talking about the metal community, and wherever people fall on the spectrum of religion or whatever, we're all kind of like, we can do our own thing. And there's not even a consideration of like, what if the answer is there and you're just rejecting it because you don't like it?
Yep.
Like that never like forms in the thought processes of our generation, because we just assume
I always think
that our assumptions are right.
When people go on about Mother Earth, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's like a divine or some sort of, you know, overseer that is caring and creative, and I'm like, wait a minute, it just sounds like we're talking about God here, but we've taken away the things about God that would put any sort of judgment or morality on people, and we've reduced it to like a gardener, a very sweet gardener, and made it female as well, because people are like, they're also less aggressive, so I don't know.
I mean, you could look at this entire thing as a metaphor of like what happened to the Western world, you know, post-enlightenment period. You know, if you look at he as the collective consciousness of the Western mind, right? Like the Eastern, not so much, but the Western mind, like there is this sort of like progression of, we come into self-awareness, and then we have the medieval period where it's like, we have the self-awareness to realize that, you know, those people wielding all that religious power, maybe they're full of shit. And so like we had other philosophies and other disciplines that we're trying to use to integrate, you know, into a Christian worldview for you could get a more, and that's where the sciences and all those things came from, is because you're trying to integrate those things. But if you look at it as just humanity, you know, cut off from its creator, he wanders through the night looking for the source of light. He scurries delicately deep inside and is driven by nothing. So it's
Scurries
true.
delicately.
If you cannot like find your origin, it becomes very difficult to invest yourself into going somewhere, because you don't know where you're from. You don't know anything about that. Like, I remember the first time like I ran into my dad after like, I don't know, 10, 15, maybe 20 years. And he had certain like I watched him in a Bible study, and he had these like certain personality quirks that were like, I was like, oh, that's where I got that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you've got the Western world, and everybody's just cut off from what made the Western world the Western world. And now we're all left to figure it out for ourselves. And we all know, like, okay, it can get really dark out there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we're cut off from the source of light. So now we got to create our own light. And, you know, that's where we try to, like, put up all these institutions to solve all these problems, because we don't have the ability to go inside of a person's heart and change their heart, but we got a lot of money. So we'll just throw the money at the problem. So he wanders through the light looking for the source of light. That's really interesting, because he's not looking for light itself.
He's looking for the source of
He's
the light.
looking for the source of light.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very important distinction to make. Because you don't have to be anything to want light. Because it just means that you're not dumb. You don't want to fall into a ditch every 3 seconds. Like, there's a reason that kids are afraid of dark and things like that. So there's nothing like particularly virtuous or spiritual about looking for light, but there is something very interested about looking for the source of light. Because presumably this was written in our time period, this song. And so it's like, well, all you have to do is look up, you'll see the source of light. But is the sun the source of light really? That's the question. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Well, so yeah, that was interesting about the source.
Yeah.
Then when he goes on and he says, but a golden thread spins itself. He now devises a path out, a quiet glow, a quick light. He crept toward the forest, almost
away from the wrong path.
Away from the wrong path, right. So when it talked about this golden thread that spins itself, it reminded me of a cocoon.
Yeah. But that seems to me like the deceptive power of whatever it is that's decided to kill you. Because it says, a golden thread, you know, he's driven by nothing.
Yeah, but it crept toward the forest away from the wrong path.
But then the next thing is, a golden thread spins itself.
Yeah.
He now devises the path out. Which to me, that's kind of like a spider metaphor. Because you know spiders spin webs and things like that, and then you get trapped in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and the spider kind of like tempts you with the, you know, the elaborate sort of spider web is what tempts the insect to get caught up in it. And once you're caught up in it, it's over with. And for us, obviously, gold, right? Like, that would represent sort of like whatever is distracting you and trapping you, and it's, you know.
Well, you know what's interesting is
now
I see what you're saying with the trapping.
He has to devise a path out now.
But it says he crept toward the forest away from the wrong path. But if you look at like the last verse, just because it's repeated multiple times, the wrong path lures you into the woods. He crept toward the forest away. See? So in one, he's creeping toward the forest away from the wrong path, and the other one says the wrong path lures you into the woods. So it almost seems like there's some confusion. You know what I mean? Like, like you said, there's like a trap. So it's like, okay, he's being led away, but he's still being led into the forest. It's almost like an inevitable end.
Well, yeah, and that's what the band said at the beginning. Was that it's a journey toward, you know,
through time and space on crooked paths until the inevitable end of all things.
Inevitability. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't like if I was on that team, I don't understand how on the one hand you can say I don't understand where consciousness in life came from, but simultaneously say that you know definitively it's going to end at one point, or you know definitively it ends at death. Like, if you don't know where it came from, how do you know that it just goes and leaves you? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like that's always been a weird kind of leap in logic to me. Like, how did you get there from there? You see what I'm saying? But yeah, like, close your eyes in the dark, the wrong path lures you into the woods. It's almost like, to your point, like the wrong path is inevitable in the universe of this story.
Yeah.
You know, like there's that Thanos where he's like, what did he say? I'm inevitability or some shit like that. And I think the fear of death is a very, very big motivator for a lot of the shit that we do. You know, there's certain theorists that it's the motivation for everything we do. I wouldn't go that far, but I definitely, you know, we just came back from is most famous for his conquest of Egypt in 671, which made his empire the largest the world had ever seen. That dude's mentioned in the Bible a few times.
Who? Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Asarhaddon or whatever. I forgot how to say his name properly. But yeah, you've got two ways here that can lead you down the wrong path, and I'm still not sure that the golden light is a good or a bad thing, because it says the golden light turns around and takes him deeper. So deeper where? Deeper away from the woods, deeper into the woods. It says the way back is blocked. He's lost, which is a pretty freaky line.
Yeah.
Because we've been watching this thing on near-death experiences, and this is like one of the spookiest. This is like the spookiest story I've ever heard in my life, to be honest with you.
Which one?
there is this dude, and he died. And I guess he's a miserable, abusive dude. He died. And he's outside of his body, and he's looking at everybody, you know, doing whatever. And in these stories, it takes these people a while to figure out that they're actually dead. So the dude, like, he doesn't know what's going on. Like, he's looking at his wife and everything, and she's all stressed out. He's trying to talk to her. She wouldn't listen. And then he hears his name. Somebody call his name outside. So he goes outside the hospital room that he was in, and he sees these people. And they're like, yeah, come with us. We're going to, you know, help you get out of here, blah, blah, blah. So he starts walking with these people. And he said that he had this sense that there's no way he can go back to that room.
Yeah.
Like that it was impossible. And these people kept leading him down this hallway. And they're like, come with us, come with us. They're leading him down this hallway. And then he realizes he'd been walking for a very, very long time. And he starts to become completely overcome by fear. And so he starts saying, I want to go back. And they're like hitting him and they're shoving him. They're like, we've been waiting a long time for you, my boy. Mm-hmm. And they're kicking him. They're doing all types of crazy shit to this kid.
Yeah.
And you know, they get to the end of the hallway and there's this giant drop off and the guy falls. And I mean, he's falling into hell. And he said, God, something.
Is he the one that said, I've heard multiple ones say that all of a sudden, all the excuses that they had throughout their life, like everybody does this, or any sort of, you know, like alleviating the guilt of your sin or the wrong things that you do by saying, well, everybody does this or that, like any sort of making light of any of that stuff. Like he realized how it was like in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve sinned, they tried to cover themselves. So they grabbed branches and, you know, made like fig leaves and stuff and try to cover themselves with that. You can't cover yourself with fig leaves in front of the Almighty God. Like, it's so ridiculous when you actually like stop and think about it. Mm-hmm. If, you know, God is not just a physical being. Like, Jesus became physical, but that's not so fig leaves don't do anything to hide you from the presence of God. And
again, it's like close your eyes in the dark.
And this guy was saying the same thing. Like, a lot of times people can make excuses throughout their lives and say, well, you know, this isn't that bad, or who did this actually hurt, or that's, you know, I mean, you know, those girls put their bodies out there online like that, so they wanted us to look at them, or whatever excuses you make. But those excuses meant nothing. When he stood before the Almighty, like, all of that, like, went away, and he just only had who he was as a person. There was no hiding. There's no...
Yeah, so he was on the way to hell, and he screamed, and he said a hand went and snatched him out of that place. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's here. And it's crazy, too, because his life did not, like they had a divorce after all that shit happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just too much for Shorty. So, like, I like that aspect of it. Like, not that happened to him, but the fact that he was honest. He said, you know, when I was out there spreading this message all over the place, she was back there going, well, you did XYZ thing to me. You know what I'm saying? And now you have this giant revelation. And he was just basically like, yeah, I mean, why would you stay with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just smacked to something so real to me. But that was terrifying, man. Like, that idea that they're like, yeah, come out here, we'll help you. Like, that's, like, I don't get, there's not a lot of things that, like, scare me or, like, make me pull up the covers or something like that. But shit like that, that shit is terrifying to me. Like I had kind of an experience with we'll just say a being 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And like, I don't know. I don't know how much of this to talk about, but like, it would like he was there. There was, I'm not gonna get into it. It's just too hocus pocus. But my point is like when you go in these spiritual situations, you gotta make sure that you know what's going on. Yeah. There's a lot of people now like opening up gateways to their consciousnesses and shit like that, but they don't know how the shit works. And it's like people are like, oh well, this is helping me. It's like, yeah, man. Like, have you ever been in intelligence? Like, if you're gonna go and get an entire town to do your bidding, you're not gonna go in there and just rake them all. You're gonna give them food, aid packets, all the rest of them. Then you're gonna, because you have an agenda. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like here,
the Bible specifically says that the devil comes as an angel of light.
Right.
So just not everything that sparkles is gold.
But this song is kind of naive in the philosophical sense, in the sense that they do believe in a rightness and a wrongness. Mm-hmm. There's a right path and a wrong path. Mm-hmm. And I think the pendulum swings so much in our culture that I'm starting to see now the culture starting to harden around certain topics. Oh. You know, the whole like postmodernist, you believe what you believe, you have your truth, I have my truth. Now you got people saying, nope, this is my truth and you're going to go along with it. It's no longer like your truth. Everybody has a right to their own truth. It's one group of people have the right to their truth and everybody has to conform to that. And if not, we're going to punish you in any way, shape, or form possible. You see what I'm saying? Oh, so anyway, like this song can go in so many different ways, man, because it could be an individual thing. It could be an individual's walk with Satan. It could be a society. To me, it's all. I'm doing a lot of thinking about Western culture and trying to figure out a way to look at this historically without thinking that my country's going to collapse. Because I'm such a, you know, I was talking to this with MJ, like I still love this country, man. Like I'm still, you know what I'm saying? Like there's problems in the country, but so I'm just sitting there and I'm analyzing like, what the fuck happened to us, man? Like we can't even get along with each other anymore. It's just crazy. But anyway, we got this place. Jet, it was a pretty scary moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was, you know, your boy, I don't get scared about a lot of things, man. I really don't. But the experience I had a couple weeks ago, and like I always, you know, that's the other thing too, is like you gotta have somebody that's got some sort of spiritual power, man. You have to, otherwise the shit gets real, and by the time you realize it's real, it's already too late, because you don't know what the hell kind of atmosphere you're in, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what that dude is talking, you don't know none of that shit.
I put myself in a pretty terrible situation. Maybe one day I'll tell you about it. And it was like, it wasn't good. And like, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I need Vinny to pray for me right now. And I had come into the room and you're like, what's going on with you? And I was like, you need to pray for me right now.
Like, you know, what's fascinating about the current time period we're in is like people are now starting to open up to, they don't want to call it God because they don't want to admit that their Christian friends are right. But people are definitely talking about relationship with the universe, people talking about, you know, and look, I you know, obviously the universe is a creation, but you can't worship creation. But I just think that it's just a way for us to, you know, on a secular level, to talk about these things that we're all experiencing now. And like, it's there's no way to put it back in the box. Like, it's going to have, there are going to be more and more things, and we're going to have more and more of a paradigm for what the hell we've been, you know, doing for these past years. So it's a really decent song. I really like this song. Strong start, 9.1.
Yep. 9.1. I would match you on a 9.1 actually. Guys, Soulfly is up next.
Soulfly. They're
Soulfly under Rapture.
I've heard that they're that new metal band. I don't know.
I don't know.
Middle. Where did I learn Soulfly from? Anyway, coming back on the other side of the break, beautiful people. We shall see you on the other side. Vin out.
Sori out.
Down. Shout on this bitch. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get matched down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. It's Charles Alidum.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are at the beginning of a 10-song Ultra Combo stream.
I actually think it's 9. Or maybe 8. I don't know. We shall see. Soulfly is up next. The name of the song is Under Rapture.
Under Rapture.
This is for SGS.
Shout out to the big homie SGS.
SGS picked this song. He says, Under Rapture is a song of the 2018 album Ritual. This song also features Ross Dolan from the band Immolation. Ritual is the third album that features Max Cavalera's son behind the drums.
Oh shit. His son is playing drums. So Max Cavalera was the singer of Sepultura, wasn't he?
Okay. And then we just have the lyrics.
And
so
then he's got his son. Now his son is on the team. Okay.
Apparently.
All right, here we go, guys. Song numero dos. What did you call it again?
The name of the song is Under Rapture. The band is Soulfly.
Right, Soulfly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We just dig in here. Under Rapture. And here we go. Under Rapture, Soulfly. Let's do it.
Under the blaze of the midnight sun,
Phoenix's. It's not Sepultura.
Soulfly under Rapture.
My blad.
His blad. Oh shit, we forgot to do the timestamp. Wait, no, we just finished.
Yeah,
so like 6 minutes?
Yeah.
6 minutes ago would have been 44?
Yeah, it's the 44-minute mark.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
I usually don't like slow down riffs like that, bro. But the way they did it was so crazy. And I really liked the way that they did it. Maybe.
Oh, I liked it. I love that.
Yeah, maybe it's not the technique I don't like. Maybe it's just the band.
Who knows?
Because the way these guys did it was straight fire.
Yeah, I mean.
This shit was hard as hell, boy.
Yeah, matter of fact, I enjoyed it.
Under the blaze of the midnight sun to reap destruction, forward we go. Expose the pain, now you reap what you sow. Plague and storms, they will return. Cut from light, face the light. Cut from light, face the light. There we go. Did it again. Born to suffer. Buried under God's hammer, under Rapture.
When are you talking about Rapture? Are we talking about Christian theology Rapture? What kind of Rapture are we talking about?
He might be using the term ironically, but Rapture is like when you're completely lost into something. Mm-hmm. It's usually a positive thing. It's kind of like an ecstatic thing, like ecstasy almost.
I've heard it used in that
So
way.
getting caught up in religious fervor would be Rapture. Of course, there's a theological position that states that one day Jesus is going to take all the Christians from the earth. It's Thessalonians. Mm-hmm. And not Young's little translation, what am I talking about? Jerome's Latin Vulgate uses the term Rapturo in Thessalonians. It says, we'll all be caught up to meet the Lord in the air. Mm-hmm. The Latin phrase for caught up is Rapturo. And so that's where you get the term rapture from.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of Christians that believe that one day Jesus is going to snatch all the Christians off the earth. And then what's going to happen is that the Antichrist is going to show up. And obviously the world's going to be in chaos because millions and billions of Christians are going to be disappeared from the earth.
And the children.
It's going to throw everything, little babies and all. It's going to throw everything into a tizzy. The whole world is going to be like, what's going on? We lost our family members, all that shit. And then this guy is going to emerge and fix all the problems. And it's going to be really good for the first 3.5 years.
Yep.
And then in the
Everybody's going to love the man.
At the midway point, he calls himself God and then demands worship from everybody. That person is known as the Antichrist. So there's a whole
one world order
theological system around the term rapture that Sori and I grew up with and pretty much believed in unquestionably until, we hit adulthood, I think.
Until I heard you talk about it. For me.
Well, which is adulthood.
Yeah, but it was just funny. It's funnier that, it's not like I became an adult and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, there's some little things that are off here. You were the one that brought me the knowledge. And then, on top of that, Wars of the Jews. You want to listen to something creepy? Friggin' listen to Wars of the Jews.
That was another one that kind of freaked me out. Anything like real live demonic activity,
that stuff is crazy. And if you couple Wars of the Jews with Revelation, Daniel, and Matthew, then it gets really hectic because shit starts lining up in the two. It's crazy.
We're probably gonna do that in the Bible Boogie.
No kidding, really?
The Bible Boogie's about Israel.
Yeah.
So I mean, it depends on how much we wanna. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But we could go really, really deep on that shit.
We'd be going for years.
Ain't nobody trying to do that for years. do a Bible book for years. That shit crazy. So cut from the life, face the light. Cut from life, face the light. I think the light here is probably cut from the life that you want to live, your little fantasy world, and face the real world. So he says that twice, but then you get to the second part of it. It says, what's the real world? Well, you're born to suffer. You're buried under God's hammer. That's the reality that you need to face.
Wow.
I am not particularly inclined to disagree with this statement. The phrase "born to suffer" is not the funnest. It's not the funnest phrase in the world, but it cannot be denied that the minute that you cross that threshold from being a baby in the womb to a baby outside the womb, you are introduced to variegated forms of pain.
Yeah, there's no escaping that.
Right? And it's like, so the born to suffer concept is like, on the one hand, it's kind of like discouraging. On the other hand, it's like, yeah, but do you want to live in the real world? Because in the real world, it would appear that we are born to suffer. Now, what I love about Christian theology is that we have taken suffering and we've deified it in Jesus, right? Like in Jesus, you have deified suffering, and so like, on one hand, you could say that God created you to suffer, and that got to be true at some level. But on the other hand, I think we could safely say that we're the only religion where the God determines that he's going to suffer more than his creation.
Yeah, I don't think we were created to suffer.
Well, I'm not sure about that, because if Paul says the wages of sin is death, then I don't see how that could not count as suffering.
Because when we were created, the original design was garden and
Yeah,
filling
but he's
the earth.
not. He's not talking about that though. He's
You
talking
said
about
that we were created to suffer.
yeah, because what I'm saying is, well, number one, unless you've hung up your Calvinist card, all suffering that happened is not incidental. That was written into your story if you're carrying your theology correctly. So Jesus was born. What? See, we're going to talk about this. Why do we have a problem saying that Jesus was born to die? I mean, we have songs literally that he was born to die. He was born to suffer. So why is it okay for Jesus to be born to suffer? Born to suffer, but we're not?
Because that was the design.
What do you mean that was the design?
You said created to suffer.
Yeah.
I don't believe we were created to
Well,
suffer.
you're a creation. You're a creation of God, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. So he created you in a post-fall world. So I'm not talking about what your potential is or what God's ideal is. I'm talking about what actually happens. So
yeah.
So
yeah, but don't you think that there's a difference between you were created for this and this is a natural, this is what happens?
No, because I don't believe that. I don't believe that crucifixion was the natural consequences of Jesus.
No. I'm not talking about Jesus, because I do believe that Jesus was born to die.
Okay, and
my physical body.
But my thing is, like, why are we okay with saying that, but not okay with saying that we're born to suffer?
Because it's the same thing to me as, remember we had that conversation back years ago, where I was like, death is a natural part of life, and you were like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You said originally in the garden there was only life, and that death came as a result of sin.
What I said was that 1 Corinthians 15 says that death is an enemy. So we can never accept death as something that's good, because 1 Corinthians 15 says death is an enemy. The last enemy to destroy is death. But the Bible doesn't speak of suffering that way.
Right.
So I'm not saying that we're born to suffer and that's it, because Christ is a paradigm of the righteous sufferer. But for me, it's impossible to say that you believe in a sovereign God who, what happened? Like I was coming to this world and he's like, man, I really hope nothing happens to this kid.
No, of course not. No, I'm not saying that he, like, part of the reason that you were born, I guess that is kind of what you're saying. No, I don't believe that in the moment right now. Like, I feel like that you were created for fellowship with God, to know God, to whatever, and that suffering is part of the purpose and part of the plan. But, like, to say, like, for instance, this is such a weird example, but it's the only thing I can think of right now. An excavator is made to dig up the ground. Well, as it's digging up the ground, it's gonna get its paint scraped off of it. But it wasn't created to get its paint scraped off. It was just, that's just what happened as it was doing the thing that it was made to do.
But the Bible does not describe our suffering as just some natural consequence of, look, with Joseph, with his brothers, they threw him into a well.
Yeah.
He said, you didn't do that. God sent me over here to keep these people alive.
Yeah, he said, what you meant for evil, God meant for good.
So, like, okay, what you meant for evil, it's the same action.
Yep.
He said, what you meant for, okay, that was suffering.
Yeah.
So he's saying, yeah, you guys had an intention to cause me suffering, but God also had an intention to cause me suffering. The difference is God's intention in my suffering was good and your intention in my suffering was bad. So to me, it's like, if I can say with a straight face that God is good and he sent Jesus to suffer and die for me, then who am I? So Jesus, as my stepdad used to say, Jesus bears the cross alone and all the world go free. Like, I don't know, man. If he says, take up your cross and follow me, I don't think that he's saying you're going to deal with the natural ramifications of sin. That is, you could have avoided this suffering, but you're entering into it because you're related to me.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that phrase as long as people because see, I have a paradigm of Jesus.
Yeah,
so he suffered, and so the math is, to the degree that Jesus suffered is to the degree that he's going to have joy at the end of the world, right? Okay. Because the scripture says that Christ endured the cross, despising the shame.
Yep.
And because of the joy set before him.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, well, yeah, as a Christian, I'm going to say, of course God wrote horrible things into my life because he's trying to work a certain kind of joy for me when this is all over that I would not have had otherwise.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. I mean, I don't even have any issue saying like God wrote pain into every single one of our stories, but for some reason I don't like saying you were created for pain. Because you're created to image God. Like, that's what the scripture says. So that we were made in the image and likeness of God. Like, I feel like that it of course, but God experiences pain, so that would be part of it. I feel like that it's not like, that's not the main thing. Like, you are going to experience pain, and that is going to be a part of how God does what he does. But ultimately, you were created to image God, and in that image, there would be pain. So, yeah, I guess. Yeah. I concede.
Well, it's just one of the weird quirks that I see in Christianity. It's like, okay, your symbol's a cross. Like, yeah, you got a guy who, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been, like that's kind of my thought on it. It's like, why is it okay for us to say that happened to Jesus? But, N.T. Wright and those boys were calling it divine child abuse. And everybody was all upset. Oh, divine child abuse. It's like, I get it. Because you're saying, like, this is a son, and then you're sending him off to whatever. Of course, but that's what I like about the Christian. So that's what I like about the Christian messages. It's very raw.
Yeah.
It's very like, yeah. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
But like, not being able to understand that is kind of the reason why you'll have American Christians that will hold Voice of the Martyrs conferences, but will never allow themselves to be martyred.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's like, we have the assumption that, oh, God did that for them, or God wrote that for Jesus, but not for me. I'm an American.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? Like, it leads to a lot of crazy ideas. Eons descended from the heavens, ever defiant, open your eyes, abomination of desolation, no one leaves until it's time. Ugh. So the abomination of desolation is kind of like the moment when the Antichrist kind of like reveals himself, right? And the idea is he goes into the temple and he says, I'm God, everybody should worship me. And because this blasphemy is so horrible, God just basically is about to destroy the world. So it's an abomination that causes desolation. Mm-hmm. And so he's talking about how religion kind of brings this about, in my opinion, to a degree. Because, yeah, because it's a certain kind of darkness. It looks like religion is in the mind of this guy.
Okay.
And so, abomination of desolation, no one leaves until it's time. And then it goes back to cut from life, face to life. Yeah. So,
Over here, holy gospel of savage faith.
Yeah.
Grotesque glory reclaimed. Rapture, rapture, rapture.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, you do see people, primitive weapons for sacrifice, pagan fire, poison messiah, rapture, rapture, rapture.
Yeah.
I see where the demons dwell, fighting for your life like lambs to the slaughter. Woo! I mean, these are just one after the other, after the other, after the other. Holy gospel of savage faith. I mean, you do kind of have to... We've been in this shit our entire lives, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's some really crazy stuff in there, bro. It's really crazy. Unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no life in you.
Yeah.
You know, and there's reasons that people crucified Jesus. And there's reason that people abandoned him.
Mm-hmm.
Because these are very difficult topics and they're very difficult teachings. And people would say, like, this is a difficult teaching. Who could follow this man?
Yep.
So, like, I understand, like, the hesitancy to say that. Like, you know, we were created for whatever. And I'm sure. But I still think that that's not completely accurate, because there are certain aspects of God's nature that can only be manifested in a context of some sort of suffering.
Oh, I know. I completely agree. I think that suffering, I mean, nobody likes to suffer. But I think that, you know, when you get, well, that's true. I mean, there are some. But, like, when you get to the other side of suffering and you see, the interesting thing I think about suffering is that sometimes it sort of shows us what we're made of or where we really are, because there's, you know, when stuff goes bad, that's when it's the most difficult to be the person that, you know, you hope that you are, or whatever. Like, when suffering happens, like, that's when people, their true colors come flying out. So I think that pain does bring us to certain, like, I think that ultimately it's supposed to do exactly what it did in the book of Job. So if you're familiar with the story about Job, he loses everything in like a super short span of time. It's like, as a mom reading that segment as it just goes bang, 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 and then at the last he loses
That's one of those
all
Bible
his
studies
kids.
that got worse for me as I age.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yes.
100%. Because when you used to read it, you're a kid, so you're like, well, you know what I mean? Like, you're looking at it from the kid's perspective. Well, the building fell on you if you're the kid.
Yeah, sayonara.
Yeah, so it's like, but anyway, so Job is in this situation where life is horrible for him. It's like really, really bad. He loses, I mean, he was rich. He had multiple houses. He had, you know, bunches of livestock, servants, the whole nine. And then he had a bunch of kids, and obviously he was married. Well, within a day, like, literally God takes everything he has, he loses, including the kids, everything. And then shortly after that, he ends up, his body gets sick, and he has like these boils in his, like, on his skin. And life is just so miserable for him. And his wife comes to him, she's like, just curse God and die, man. And he's like, you know, are we going to accept all the good that God wants to give us, but not accept the bad? And then you just see these interactions between Job and God. Like, you know, his friends come around, and they sat with him quietly for a week, which is actually a long time, probably.
Crazy.
You know?
Crazy, yeah.
But the minute that they started talking, like, Job was saying these things, and there's a phrase in there about, like, words for the wind. Like, when somebody is suffering, you gotta just let them talk. Like, you don't have to, like, jump on everything they say and nitpick everything. Like, just let... When somebody is in the misery of their soul, sometimes they have to just let that venom out. And so, you know, when Job's, you know, like, they couldn't handle it anymore, they finally get to a point where they tell him. So they're just like, maybe you did something. You must have sinned to bring this on yourself. Like, how could this be anything other than that? Anyway, so he goes through this big thing, and at the end, it says that in the book of James, it says that God was both merciful and compassionate in the way that he dealt with Job. And you're like, how is this even possible? Like, how could it even be, what do you mean compassionate and merciful? What? But at the end of the book of Job, it's super cool, because Job says, after he goes back and forth arguing with God, like, people think he had a perfect record. Like, some of the stuff, if you just read through it, you're like, I don't know, Job. But anyway, And God like talks back with him. He was like, he's basically like, stand up and I'm gonna answer you as a man, like stand up.
Yeah.
And there's these interactions back and forth. But at the end of the book of Job, Job says, I heard of you through the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. And so that suffering that Job went through was meant to bring him to more clarity in seeing God and knowing God. And if you compare, you know, if you only heard somebody, but when you get to see them, it adds so much depth to the relationship because you know them more. So that's what Job was saying. He's saying that everything that he went through, you know, you're suffering. Some people take suffering and they feel so bad for themselves that it makes them a worse person. Or they start feeling like because life is so bad for them, other people have it easier, so they take out their frustration on other people around them. Like there's a lot of like really negative ways that people, pain is a gift and it's meant to teach us something. And at the end of it, you can have more clarity or you can have more, you know, more bitterness. Our kids, you know, Vinny and I, obviously, you know, both of us were divorced. So we have kids from previous marriages, and sometimes those relationships have been really challenging for the kids. And one of the things that you were really good at maintaining with them, I didn't realize how important it was at the time, but now, you know, I'm 5 years older and I realize the importance of it. But like maintaining that, like, look, you can be frustrated with this, and this thing, but don't let that take such deep seed in your heart that you become a bitter and angry person, because it will ultimately, you'll be the one to suffer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
really cool song.
This song is really, really heavy. There's so many things so many directions you can go with this song.
Yeah. Yeah.
So God killed his kids to prove a point to an old man.
What old man? What?
Jen,
Oh, to prove a point to Job?
It depends on what point is being proven. Right? The other thing is, if in Job's universe, because Job's mindset was the Lord gives and the Lord takes away, blessed be the name of the Lord. So Job's mindset was, if God gives me these children, on what basis can I say he owes me
Yeah.
the life that I want them to live?
Yeah.
Because Job, see what happens with us when we go through bad times is that we're human beings. We're very self-centered, right? But as a Christian, the minute you think about your personal suffering, you have to somehow relate it to the cross and Jesus' suffering.
Yeah.
And so I kind of go through that. I kind of go through that progression. I say, okay, am I supposed to live a more comfortable life than Jesus did? No. Then I say to myself, and this is the corollary to what you were saying, like, God didn't just put Jesus here to suffer. He put Jesus here to save people.
Yeah.
But the way you save people in the sinful world is through your own suffering. And there have been millions of Christians that have been helped by the horrible situation that happened to Job. So it wasn't just God proving a point to the devil. It was God setting us up with a paradigm of being a righteous sufferer while God still remains good, and how to maintain both of those ideologies.
Wow.
And it was also prepping you for the fact that God, even though Job didn't know it, God could have came down in a cloud and said, I know how you feel, bro, because I lost my son.
Yeah.
And again,
Where I'm going to.
we're the only, well, God doesn't exist in time.
That's
You know,
true.
he's crucified before
From
the
the foundation.
we're the only, you know, I'm good with that. I'm good with that as an answer for suffering. And like, I used to be like, why this, why that? To be honest with you, when I really understood like 4% of what the cross meant, I genuinely stopped asking that question. I really did.
Really?
Yeah, because it's, how could I expect to live a better life than Jesus?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is he an idea or did he actually come here and do shit? You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I truly believe in that shit. So I don't, you know.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to go out of your way and create conflict so that you could suffer for Christ, okay?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I never do that is because, like, he knows what kind of suffering to assign me. Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, like, that's an important topic to wrestle with. And I thought they did a good job.
Yeah.
9.4 for me. I'm a metalhead.
9.8 actually for me on this.
I'm a metalhead. I like the chuggy stuff.
Yep.
And it was deep as
9.8.
hell. 9.8. We will see you beautiful people on the other side of the break. The day has just started.
Yes.
Been
it has.
out.
Sorry out.
Gone. See you on the side, bitches. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and shall lead them to buy our merch. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We're in the midst of the, I don't know how many songs we're doing, but it's a lot, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I say afternoon, so I'll get the mindset to stay up for the 38 song mega stream my fellow comrades have just conjured up. It's not 38 songs. I think it's 40 songs. I'm not sure, but they've been pretty banging songs so far. We will give you guys an intermission, like 4 or 5 songs down the road. But yeah, so we got raptured. She disappeared. We were wrong. The theology was wrong. You know, I was a post-millennialist until 2 seconds ago, and then my wife got raptured, so now I'm left behind her. Oh, man. I'll tell you what. I don't believe in that theology anymore, but I'll tell you what. When I did, it was fun, man. Because, like, literally, legit, you felt like any second you could be talking with your homie, and then you'd be, phew, gone. You know what I'm saying? It was such a cool thing to be able to believe for a little bit. Of course, then you get a little older, and you're like, well, wait a second. You're flying with a Christian pastor. That dude gets raptured. Everybody's gonna die on the plane and go to hell. But there's a lot of crazy scenarios in that situation, bro. So I started looking at that whole theology with the screw eye once 9/11 happened and they started celebrating. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you guys seem okay with this. And then it was like, well, yeah, because they thought that this is gonna show that the rapture was like right around the corner because America is God's country. So if something like that happened to us, that means the end of the world has to be nigh. So yeah, that's when I started. It was like, yo, wait a second, like we're celebrating 9/11, like that's the team we're on right now. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, guys. So we are coming back up. Archero, you also missed the rapture. The rapture isn't real. I wouldn't say that the rapture isn't real. I would just say the theology around the rapture, I don't think can be justified in scripture. Say it around that way. Did Archero cave and sub Tribunal for this stream? I don't know what that means. I have been lurking in Discord servers. Sometimes I make myself known. Other times I do not. Just FYI. That was feedback I got from the Alliance leader, so I'm still trying to figure out how to make that Discord thing worth your while. And honestly, like, I just feel like an intruder. Like, I don't want to go up in your guys' space. So, like, unless I get, like, legit, like, hey, man, come through, then I'm going to kind of hang out. See what I'm saying? But I hang back and stalk you people for a little bit. See what's going on. See what I mean? But yeah, guys, so Sori's coming back pretty soon. We're going to jump right back into it once she comes back. Shout out to Middle Earth for organizing these Imperishable Flame streams. I'm annoyed that I never finished watching The Leftovers. I really enjoyed what I watched. The Leftovers. I don't know what that is. Vin never answers my emails. It's because I'm indigenous. You should just call me, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens with Mikey. You just call you like, yo, what's up? Well, I talk to Mike every day, but hit me up, bro. Yes, I threw in the towel. Need. I think Discord is okay. Discord is okay. I'm having a hard time like trying to figure out the navigation. You know what I'm saying, around Discord. It's a little bit of different interface. This next track is going to be a banger. Somebody said it was going to be a power metal track. So that should be interesting. Should be very interesting because there is one band in Vinand Sori history that we did not review. It took us like a year to review it because there was so much pressure from everybody to tell us. They were like, tell us which one it was. I'm not going to repeat it. But long story short, they were a black metal band. And they were not a black metal band, I'm sorry. They were a power metal band. And it was just too much. It's too much cheese for your brother. See what I'm saying? And it wasn't just me, because Shorty, I looked at Shorty, she stopped the tape this pretty much the same time I did, bro. So you can't be mad at me for that. Yo, what happened? Yeah. Stand by, dear listener. Did we turn off the AC?
Okay.
All right, guys, here's song numero tres. Song numero tres.
All right. The next song on our list is Blind Guardian. Secrets of the American Gods is the name of the song. This one is from Riv.
Oh, it's from Riv?
This one is from Riv.
You sneaky bastard, you. Riv was like, oh, yeah, this next one's going to be a banger. I was like, oh, shit. Riv said it's going to be a banger. It's got to be a banger if they said it. Yeah. Now I come to find out the truth, Riv. Trying to bamboozle me.
Riv says, my selection is Blind Guardian, Secrets of the American Gods. On the link, it's the 1042 to 1811.
Okay.
I saw Blind Guardian last Thursday on the last show of their US The God Machine tour, and I cannot begin to tell you how incredible of a show it was. The album they were promoting, The God Machine, that this is off, came out in 2022, 30 plus years since their first release. I think it shows they haven't lost a step as a band, which is saying something. I'd recommend anyone, even non-metalheads, to see them live. When my own mother enjoyed this show, it should tell you it was impressive. This song, like many of theirs, is based on a fantasy novel. This one, obviously, American Gods by Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman, yeah.
One of my favorite novels by one of my favorite writers.
Yeah.
All right, Blind.
I think Hulu Prime, Amazon Prime or something did a series on. There was one with the Dream Guy, but there was also the American Gods one. Actually, they did the American Gods one before they did the Sandman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the same guy that did that.
Oh, okay.
So this should be really, really interesting. All right, and it's Rib. So, all right, here we go. Tell me what the timestamp was for that thing.
116, you said? Right? Oh, you mean for the other thing?
That's for the.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
for
yeah.
The,
okay,
right?
The timestamp here is going to be 1042
okay.
to 1811.
Blind Guardian. What is that? Secrets of the Gods, of the American Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. No, it's right there.
Oh, okay, must have been one that was an official, and then I decided to switch it from being an official.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's a 6 minute. Yeah,
It
yeah.
says 10:42 to 18:11. So that's 6.3 minutes. Okay, we're good. All right.
I burned my tongue on my tea.
Is that tea or coffee?
I made tea.
You made tea?
Mm-hmm.
So that's tea?
No, you asked for coffee.
But you asked for tea.
I gave you what you asked for, sir.
Okay. Give that man what he's asking for. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it right now. Let me turn off this background
All right,
music
Blind
real quick.
Guardian.
Blind Guardian
Secrets
in
of
this
the
mix.
American Gods.
We were supposed to see this band line too. This was Devin Heister. And then once his face went into the fucking U.S. Capitol, just destroyed all our dreams.
Wow.
Seriously. All right, here we go.
Destroyed.
Great Lord, your love's divine. I spread your grace, I share your light. For the shores of hell will burn and purgatory smell. When the preacher with the crucifix brought mayhem and despair. So here comes a new God, be brave. A dark-spelled illusion of greed and of sin. I'll carry on. Come share the disgrace, come share our pain. Somehow we're not one, yet somehow we're the same. Now strong and blue, it shall begin. Soon forgotten withering. Nice to meet you. Another human stranger. I'm so glad you have made it. Somehow you made it. Welcome to the promised land. There are no signs, there are no miracles. Spare no name. You should not reveal the secrets of the American gods. For to infinity, no one cares for names. You can't escape and hide now. The secrets of the American gods. So when I look upon these fields of misery, who would not sacrifice a son? My son is out. We share our tricks, we share our faults. Discarded plans, distorted tunes. It's ripping blood feeds, it's what this land needs. Let's creep it back into. Sadly to say, but oh, there is no guidance but so bright, your blazing starlight. And we are watching you, stranger in a newborn land of homeless gods and worn miracles. On these fields of cross, you should not reveal the secrets of the American gods. For
Riv says, Blind Guardian don't miss. That's my opinion.
That's not your opinion, damn it.
Okay.
Oh man, I love this song.
That-
Now I'm even more mad that dude. We're gonna have oysters right on the fucking stage.
Well, he had to do his thing, I guess. He had to do
It's gonna
his
be the most
thing.
epic thing of all time. Damn you, Joe Biden! Damn
Blind
you!
Guardian, Secrets of the American Gods. The American Gods.
So Neil Gaiman, he's got a series called American Gods. And I'm pretty sure it's like a retelling of the Greek gods, only like in an American context.
Oh, okay.
I found that before I found Sandman, and then Sandman like completely took over my brain.
Yep.
So I never got to finish American Gods.
Oh,
And then
okay.
And then I turned out they're both on Netflix. I think the
Wait, Netflix?
or Amazon Prime. I don't know.
Wait,
one of
so
the
it's something we can watch? Or we're talking about an audio?
we watched the whole thing, remember? We watched Sandman.
Yeah.
You know, Dream and all that, and he had the
No,
helmet.
I do. I remember. I
Yeah.
just didn't remember that we watched it. I thought we listened to the book and that's
We
where the
listened to the book,
visuals
but
the
then
visuals came from.
No.
Turns out my imagination's not as great as
we
I
listened
thought.
to the book, and then we saw the
The
real.
movie.
You
Okay.
know, it's a show. It's a show. I don't even know if they're gonna pick it up the second one.
Okay.
But they also had this one, and I just haven't watched it yet. So there we go.
Okay.
Good Omens is another Neil Gaiman series on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I mean, was that the one where the devil and the angel are working together and they're like gay? Like they're like a gay couple?
What's the name of that one?
Who?
The God and the Devil? Are gay?
Yeah. Well, there's an angel. You know how there's an angel on your right side and the devil on the left side?
Yeah.
Well, so like it's just them following along. Sandman's on Netflix. American Gods was Amazon. Okay. There we go. Problem solved. All right. What did you think of the song?
Well, I thought it was very epic sounding, you know, and it kind of kept that up throughout the entire thing.
Boy, those guys know how to write a course.
I feel like
Son
that
of a
we
bitch.
haven't heard from them in a super long time, right?
Who? Blind Guardian?
Yeah, I feel like I went like in a time machine.
We haven't listened to a lot of Blind Guardian, and they're like a straight up. I mean, they're a power metal band, but I feel they're more metal than power. If that makes
Do
any
they
sense.
have an Iron Maiden feel to you at all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
me
mean, I
too.
think any power metal band is going to be influenced by Iron Maiden, especially if you can sing. Like you should be influenced by Iron Maiden if you can sing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I respect it. You know, I respect the hustle. Like they can sing their asses off, and they do a really good job with their choruses. Like they really know what they're doing when they're songwriting.
Yeah. Great Lord, your love's divine. I spread your grace. I share your light.
So far, so good.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So it starts out okay.
Yeah.
For the shores of hell were burning.
In
In purgatory's smell. When a preacher with a crucifix brought mayhem and despair, so here comes a new God. Be brave. A God spelled illusion, a breeding of sin. I'll carry life. Come share this disgrace. Come share our pain. Somehow we're not one, yet somehow we're the same. Now strong in bloom it shall begin, soon forgotten withering. So it kind of sounds like, so we're all familiar with the concept of purgatory, I guess, which is where, to my understanding, it's that Jesus, when you become a Christian or Catholic or whatever belief system goes with the purgatory thing, that from that point all the way backwards, Jesus will cover all of those sins. But from that point forward, you're in charge of those. So if you don't do enough good to offset your bad, then you're going to end up going to purgatory where you're going to have to work off your sins, which is completely not what the Bible teaches, to be clear. But nonetheless, I believe that to be the understanding. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so, for sure.
So it seems like it starts out good, you know, like great Lord, spread your grace, your light. But then for the shores of hell are burning in purgatory smell with a preacher so this preacher who has a crucifix ends up in purgatory, which is like crazy because it's like, what do you mean? Even a preacher can't get there without purgatory?
Yeah.
What? But then it says, so here comes a new God, be brave. So I thought that we're talking about like maybe we're introducing, I don't know, maybe we're introducing like another deity or another God that isn't the one that sent this preacher to mayhem and despair. A god spelled illusion, a breeding of sin. I'll carry life. Come share this disgrace. Come share our pain. Somehow. So here comes a new god. Yeah. So I assumed it was that the last god, you know, he was such a failure that this poor chap with the crucifix makes it, you know, gets stuck in purgatory. Mm-hmm. So now a new god is coming. It's gonna be better than that one, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know, it depends on how literal you want to take this. Like I feel like this happens to us every 4 years, where there's always some sort of messianic myth making happening. So it's like, oh, we just had 8 years of the Bush administration, and here comes Barack Hussein Obama, and it's got hope, and he's got like a little. I don't know if y'all remember this, but we had kids singing about Barack Obama in public school.
Really?
Yeah. They had the kids. They had the kids like singing this weird brain, and he hadn't even been elected president yet. And I'm like, they can sing to this dude, like fuck all the parents, his political, you know, wherever they came from. Like that's not my problem. I mean, I'm black, so, you know, Obama, I'm supposed to be happy, right? Like, you can't say anything to me, okay? But like, it was just so weird, bro. It was like, oh, these kids singing this song to no problem. Like, yo, we're Americans, bro. Like, we don't trust our government. What is this? We're gonna sing to people? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just weird to me, man.
That is weird.
It's a crazy. So, like, when I look at like what's going on here, it's like when you talk about American gods, it's like obviously he wrote the comic. There's a show, all that's valid, but it's also our politicians get deified, and it's every 4 years. So now it's funny because I was watching this thing. So AOC had this rally in the Bronx.
Okay.
And I guess there's a bunch of Trump people that like came in like they're more than AOC's people were.
Uh-oh.
So these Trump dudes got up on, and they were black. I mean, this is the Bronx. This is like the gutter, like the street shit. Like MJ said this to me. He's like, yo, check this out, bro. And it was like mad black people, like blacker than black, bro, like Sharif Black.
Okay.
Holding up Trump flags and shit, like waving it around, yelling. They were like screaming down AOC's group. It was bad, bro. It was bad. And then like they asked this Latina girl, they're like, you know, what's your message for AOC? And she's like, get out of here. Y'all ain't doing that for us. Blah, 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 blah. We gonna vote for Trump. I was like, holy shit. But like, I'm looking at them and I'm like, yo, 4 years ago, all of y'all was like, this dude is the Antichrist, right? And now it's like, you believe this dude is gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, both ideas are crazy. Like, I never believed he was the Antichrist. But he ain't no savior, no black people either, or America. Like, come on, dude. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, but it's the inclination. We want to put somebody up at that pedestal. You see what I'm saying? Because we want to believe that if we give this guy enough divine privilege, then he'll be able to exercise his divine powers in a way that's amenable to our agenda. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of theology that's going on in when you're voting for a president and all that. It's a crazy dynamic. Oh my God. Imagine singing a song of praise to the ebony devil that killed U.S. citizens and civilians with his drums truck.
I mean, he's not wrong, right?
There is no half-stepping with this fucking community, bro. I'm sorry. He's our people. We love him. He can say whatever he wants, man. Ebony devil. Hey, it's good for the goose. It's good for the gander. You know how many times we've talked about white devils in this channel? Hell yeah, that man's an ebony devil. Ask Anwar al-Awlaki and his son Abdul Rahman if Mr. Obama ain't the devil incarnate. Yeah. Be quiet. You better leave my boy alone. Don't say nothing to my boy in the comment section neither. We continue. This is the ebony devil. I got a screenshot. These people are... He said the ebony devil. All right, we continue. I thought you were talking about Drake for a second. I was like, no, that's black. Drake isn't black. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Hale, nice to meet you. Another Newman Newman stranger? What's a Newman?
I don't know. Is that what it says there? Newman? Yeah, another Newman stranger. I don't know. Okay. What's up? Long live Poland. Long live Poland.
Long live.
There are no sights. There are no miracles. Shadow bears no names. You should not reveal. Join the American gods. So it's kind of like a secret society type of thing too. Now I'm not familiar with the storyline of this thing.
So
what does
Numen
mean?
is typically refers to a divine or spiritual presence, often associated with a particular place or object.
Numen.
In this context, it would be a reference to a mysterious or divine entity that is unfamiliar or foreign.
Numen, like Numa.
Yeah.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Wind. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay.
So when I look upon the fields of misery, who would not sacrifice a son? My son, it's now done. We share our tricks, we share our foes, discorded plans, distorted tunes. I would never sacrifice my son. Under any circumstance. You know that whole trolley problem?
Yeah.
It's like you could save your son, or you could save a trolley full of people. Man, I would hit that button 10 times out of 10 for my kid. Like I wouldn't even feel bad about it.
Really?
Especially now. Hell no. Especially not now. Hell no. I wouldn't feel bad about it at all.
I feel like you would. You'd start hearing the stories.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I wouldn't even listen to the stories.
You're wrong. I'm a different person. My son, it's now done. His dripping blood feeds is what this land needs. Life's creeping back into, sadly, but there is no guidance. Yeah, like, one of the things that's fascinating to me is people say things like, well, you know, human beings created God so that we could, you know, we could have some sort of orderly society.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but why is this impulse to have an orderly society in the first place? And on top of that, how the hell did we get everybody to agree?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this minority of people, we need to tell them that there's like a sky thing up there so that they'll leave us alone. Like, really? That's how it went down? That's how we invented religion? I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. I think, you know. So in the Book of Shadow, who they're referring to as a man with divine power, the old gods are starved of worship and dying. The new gods are treated as antagonists. These are the American gods, capitalism, media, etc. That is such a fascinating idea because we used to tell people, like, you were born for worship.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible for the human being not to worship.
Yeah.
Like, because it's the thing that is most native to our being is worship. Okay. So then when you stop worshiping the true God, that vacuum is going to get filled somehow.
Yeah.
So whether it's, you know, capitalism, which I think is a crazy, that Gammon guy is a genius because he's saying that these different isms are not just political ideologies, rather they are gods who demand worship and sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at capitalism is a god that demands worship and sacrifice.
It does. Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And so like you have to think about the ramifications of that as far as like what is a god actually?
Mm-hmm.
You know, is a god somebody who is like a personal physical being or a personal being that you could talk to, and that's the reduction of like who and what he is, or is something else going on?
Yeah.
And this story is pretty intriguing because there's other things going on like under the surface, I think, that you're supposed to pick up on.
Okay.
But that course, and we are watching you, stranger in a newborn land of homeless gods. That's why, was it in Psalms?
Yeah.
He said, what do I care about all your sacrifices? He said, all the cattle on 1,000 hills are mine.
Yeah.
He said, and then he said, if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you.
Yep.
It's like, what? But look what's happening. These gods need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
These gods are being abandoned. These gods, they're losing their power because people are no longer worshiping them.
Yeah.
It's like our God, like it doesn't matter if you worship him or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You will though one day.
But it is true of the other gods.
Every knee shall bow.
It is true of the other gods though. And it's crazy because I was listening to Joe Rogan talk about it. He was talking about these aliens and he's like, you know, they kind of feed on your soul. Like there's one theory that these aliens, they come and feed on your soul. And I'm like, Joe, hello!
Think about this, please.
You've got super advanced, intelligent beings who are malevolent. Like, where did we hear about this before?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, these gods are all personified. Mr. Wednesday, for instance, is a trickster and con man. Odin, in other words. Anubis rules an old funeral home. Okay. Yeah, Anubis was that jackal guy, right?
Yeah, with the staff. Yep.
Yeah, so it's like it's a good admission about American consumerism that we're actually, it's not consumerism, it's idolatry.
Yeah.
And so like when we get that paradigm down, then you're gonna understand like, okay,
Yep.
there's bigger things going on
Yeah,
here. And there's a lot more theology going on than we give it credit for.
100%. And we talk a lot about intentions and that, you know, we can fool other people with what our intentions are because people can only judge us by our actions. But God sees into our heart and he knows exactly what our intention and our motivation is for everything that we do. And not just the first motivation, but all the other motivations that are involved there. But it's interesting because I've been thinking, I think a lot about intentionality and, you know, what does that look like in regular life? Like, what things do we do that shows some intention of our heart? Because it's another way of seeing what's going on in somebody's heart. But anyway, I was thinking about money and how money is, it can be the reason relationships end. It can be the reason people get abused. Money, the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil. Mm-hmm. And so I guess I was thinking about, you know, I was thinking about our money and I was thinking about what we do with our money. And then I was thinking about how money gives people, it gives you access to things or places that you wouldn't normally have. It gives you comfort in your house. It gives you, like, there's a lot of different things that money can do, but it does say something about us because you use, it's almost like a, what's that word, like that, it's like the catalyst, but it's something that can move things. Like money has the power to move situations and change situations. Sure. And so I don't know, just thinking about like how much of our intentions with our money is for like helping to heal people around us or helping other people, and how much is like exclusively for us, and then how much of our money goes toward destructive shit. And I don't know, just like the idea of that and thinking through that, and like every individual is different, and we're all doing different things with our money. But I keep thinking about what that guy said, like that near-death experience guy that was saying like, and he's not the only one, multiple people have said that all of a sudden when God shows up, there's like one person said, I couldn't think of a single good thing that I had done. Yeah. And even the good things that I could think of, like, they're like, you know, sometimes those are tainted because what you did seemed like it was a good thing, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, it's not about necessarily what we do, but it's the intention of our heart. And like, maybe, you know, maybe folks did the right thing, but in their heart they were like, fuck these people, you know?
100%.
I mean, I heard somebody say to a homeless person one time, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, I don't know, you were passing out food, excellent, but then you treated them like that, so what was in your heart, you know? But anyway, interesting.
Unbelievable.
The
fucking nerve.
So bad. It's almost like you don't want to believe that it actually happened.
Man, I just wanted to jump off there and just goddamn breathe.
I remember your face when you, yeah. And the way that you breathed. It was terrible. It's just hilarious. Anyway,
I really like this song, man.
Yeah, this is a good song.
Sing his ass off. This is a 9.8 for me.
Yeah, it was epic. It really kept it. It was 9.6 for me.
All right, dear listener, we're coming back on the other side of the break.
We'll be right back.
Was that Riv?
Yeah, that was Riv.
We will be right back on the other side of the break, you losers. We shall return. In and out.
Sori out.
Gone.
I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. And then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch. To buy our merch. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a random Ask Me Anything from yours truly, Soraya. So, let's see. Let the questions begin. I'm gonna let you guys know what the next coming song is. It's Kerry King, Residue. Matter of fact, let me put it up on the screen. Kerry King, Residue. Where'd it go? Trash this one. Trash this one. Whoop. Here it is. Boop. Oh shit. Hold on. I'm coming back. I'm just not as, tech savvy as my compadre. It's like this. Whee! Here we go. I'm getting it. I am getting it. Here we go. It is not Kerry King time yet. Oh, really? Hold up. Yeah, what the heck did I do? True. Thank you, Ben. Hold on. It is... Hold up. I'll get it, you'll see. You guys can pop some questions in there. I'll, wait, come on. Come on, little guy. Why wouldn't you just drop in there? Maybe over here? Aha! Aha! How's that? That's better. I, too, can do this. Yeah, Ben, we gotta let our necks chill. Sorry, how do I get information about movie directing? Lost Hate, do you have the secret email or... No, it's not in Discord. If you're on Patreon, you can send me a direct message on Patreon. If you are not there and you are gonna email us, just send the email to vinandsori@gmail.com and I'll give you the other email if that's what you if you're gonna end up buying a show, you can get the other email that gets an easier connect because everybody doesn't have access to it, just people that buy streams. So yeah, I can get that to you that way. Or you can... no, you wouldn't be able to in Discord. So yeah, you'd have to either do it through Patreon or... Hold on.
Patreon or what? Oh, I've come back from the Rapture.
Sorry, guys.
You've returned.
I've returned from the Rapture.
All right, Negative Vibes has the next pick. It's called 155 is the timestamp. Aesop Rock, Aggressive Steven. I was gonna say 7.
Aggressive Steven.
Uh-huh. My pick for today is another track off Aesop Rock's latest album, Integrated Tech Solutions. This one leans heavy on AES' very unique storytelling talents, as he recalls a very New York kind of experience we went through, and the use of back and forth dialogue within a rap I haven't really heard since Slick Rick's heyday. There's also a really cool beat switch and flow change that takes place midway through the song that really does a good job of reflecting the shift in the story.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Is this what this is right there?
That is correct.
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm. Now you just have to put the song on. No, that's the picture for the corner. I misunderstood what you were asking.
Oh.
Yeah, it should be... If it's not there, it's right here.
Where?
That thing right there, but that's an MP3. Doesn't matter, I don't think.
Okay. Here we go. Integrated Tech Solutions, ASAP Rocky. Let's do it.
Integrated Tech Solutions, building a bridge to a better tomorrow. Resources, network, application, solutions. ITS is a system of lifestyle and industry applications designed to curate a desired multi-experience. Using a unique hybrid of machine learning and on-site Scrum sessions, our specialists have redefined tech-centric problem-solving. Disrupt, innovate, refine, advanced systems. ITS, offering streamlined implementation of attainable solutions.
ITS is not responsible for any instances of bodily injury or economic downturn that may occur while using ITS patented technology. All ITS patents are understood as living patents and may not perform as originally intended. Applicants are expected to live within the ITS housing and nutrient grid. ITS sound bath is understood to still be in beta form. ITS is not a cult.
3140.
2.5 million years ago, a friend of mine made a tool from a stone and defended his tribe as technology. So
Killing me. You're absolutely
3144.
There's no way to even get there with this like this. Talk to the people. I gotta download the video.
Oh, shoot.
Talk to the people.
I will. Blah. All right, let's see. Nope, not Kerry King yet. That will be next up on the list. Wait, is this part of the song? It's called Aesop Rock Aggressive Steven.
Okay.
You might double check because it might actually just not have been pulled up on that thing. Yeah, it should have been way sooner.
What should
check your downloads folder. It probably is in there. Like this one in Finder. Okay, you guys, random Ask Me Anything. Nathan, Love Bite. That was their name. Love Bite is better than the BABYMETAL. It may provide a similar experience of Asian metal. Was it there?
All right, here we go, guys. Aggressive Steven. Let's do it.
got home one morning, maybe 10 o'clock. Grabbed a coffee, ran into my friend outside the hair salon. She said she on a break and she come up and roll a J. Well, say her name is Abby, though Abby is not her name. Okay. Skin the vibe, talking neighborhood gossip. Elevator to amazing, snake around on my spot. Before the key hit the lock, she was asking me, is that yours? Beside the door, a navy button down, pulled up on the floor. Weird. I'll take a knee on some, I do have one like it, but no. And pick it up slow to reveal a few of the items. Abigail like, oh, that is certainly a tweaker's pile of stuff. A realization that demand a weaker tea inside my cup. White noise humming in my ear to the wood. I hear the bathwater running, something is clearly afoot. Someone is clearly inside. I look at Abby like I'm going in. Maybe you should stay here, she said no, I'm in. Hold. Be cautious, keep calm. Sneak the door open, the apartment is tossed. Everything everywhere all at once, all the faucets are on. Let's draw the room so you can better picture all the peoples. I got this loft that when you walk in, the ceilings are pretty normal. Then a dozen feet later, it's 20 feet of beams and mortar. I inch in far enough to peek around that first corner. No sign of life in the bathroom, only debris and disorder. We baby stepping 7 feet in where the kitchen begin. Records and books in a sink, the conditions start to sink in. Another view to that Rubicon where the pad opens up to see the answer to my questions in the rafters above. There is a man with no shirt on, wearing his pants around his ankles, jungle gymming over both us. I mean, we are talking angles. He's mumbling incoherently, there's something in his system. I'm processing but need to make decisions. Okay, let's go. Hey, you need to get down right now. Abby yelling, get the down and get out. He's on a different planet, drifting to a distant moon. I'm pretty sure he don't even know we are in the room. Hey, you need to get down right now. Get the down and get out. You need to get down right now. Get the down and get out. Hey, you need to get down right now. Get the down and get out. Get the down and get out. Get the down and get out. This isn't working, the energy is berserk, and we're backing up to the hallway, then down to the office nervous. Yeah, hi. So there's a naked guy in my ceiling. The staff look up at me tripping like, oh my god, is it Steven? Who the f is Steven? Y'all seem to know some I don't. I ain't exactly need him. The manager on some he in his building have got some history. We'll attempt to go and talk him down, but also called the city. 30 go by when the elevator ding and drop a trio in the lobby and heaven and nature sing. It's the manager and super with a man in my Nikes. Oh, that's my leather too, rejected, but me look nice. Steven is glum and despondent, wafting a brutal bouquet. They sit him down on the sofa, he look confused and ashamed. But if I'm honest, also looks like he could pull out a blade. That's when two officers show up and all is fully explained. Okay, the police over Steven to see if he's even lucid. I'm on the other side of the lobby, completely stupid. The super and the manager finally get a sec to offer some backstory about this morning's events. They tell me Steven suffers from mental illness and drug addiction. His episodes have kept him in and out the shelter system. Some lady in the building used to give him her couch, but his condition led to far too many issues to count. He's even scaled up the building before and jimmied inside and been aggressive with the tenants like infinity time. He not permitted on the premises, but this is your life. That's when the officer invited me to give him my side. I said, well, first of all, I ain't the one to call, but also we're like a meter from the player involved. I can brief you on the basics if the aim is resolved, but I ain't trying to agitate him if I say something wrong. How about we move 10 feet around the corner to talk? He said I can't leave my partner alone with someone that's gone. Okay, seems fast to be at an impasse. Then he pulls the pen and paper out and this is what he asks. Do you wanna be the victim? What? No, I didn't want it. I'm not sure what you want. Do you wanna be the victim? Oh, you're doing a script of a communion about the nuance of a human at risk. How about we skip to where you tell me what the future can hold? He said a felony, B&E, and whatever he stole. We take him down to the jail and they put him back on the street. They just ain't got the kind of resources a Steven would need. I said he doesn't need a felony, he doesn't need a cell. There's gotta be a way to get him headed for some help. He said programs exist, but none of them work. It's either charge him with the crime or feed him back to the earth. That's the bleakest shit I ever heard. I don't even have the word. I'm about to run, see what evil was done. I guess the jacket was a gift, but he could leave in the dumps. Upstairs sucked. The cat's doing fine, the rest is just stuff. I just seen Steven eating lunch. ITS. It's the future.
All right. That was Aesop Rock.
Yep.
This was a very this is one of those things where hip hop is always going to have the upper hand here.
Telling the story?
The storytelling stuff, because it's just it's such a lyrical art form that it kind of just it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But this was a very interesting. This reminded me of like we used to do this downtown ministry where we were, and this like was just like a regular day. It's a regular day.
Yep.
And like people would get in trouble, and then the cops would hand them off to us.
Yep.
I get all kinds of calls all over the place. Hey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I wasn't even running that house, bro. There was another guy that was running the house. They never called him. They called me. SubhanAllah.
Yeah, I know, but you're so good in those situations.
Man, them people are all jacked up. Like, they don't even know where they are until, like, 2 or 3 days later when they wake up, bro. So it's not really a lot of, you know what I'm saying? They're like, there's not a lot of convincing.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, you almost died. And the fact that you're not dying now, you're going to go to prison unless you go to this halfway house. So it's not like they have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
I mean, some of them will still say, like, fucking send me to prison. Because you get jail, you get drugs quicker in prison than you can at Place like Teen Challenge.
Oh
and
my
stuff
gosh, that's crazy.
I mean, you had dealers in those places. You know, they send you away.
Yeah.
But they had dealers in those places dealing shit. Like,
right.
I mean,
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a real kind of insidious. You know, it's a hell of a thing, man. That addiction is crazy. But you see dudes like this all the time on the bus and on the train in New York. You know.
Oh really?
Yeah, like all the time, and like you feel sorry for them because they do look pathetic. Not in like this insulting sense, but it just, your heart just goes out to them.
Yeah.
And then they'll flip because, you know, a lot of times they're drunk. And so when they're getting there, you know, you'd be cool with them for 4 or 5 months straight, see them on the train. What's up, OG? Da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then when they're off their meds or whatever happens, or like somebody says some reckless shit, they're going right to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after that experience, I was like, man, fuck those guys. And that's why you hear stories like Vaughn arresting them dudes, like beating up random crackheads.
Oh.
It's because like you gotta project a certain kind of violence to those people because otherwise they're just they have
they're no fear. They're fearless. They have
they're all fucked. You know.
Yeah.
It's like the Somalis on cot. It's the same thing. Yeah. So yeah, like, but it's cool because like you could tell like he didn't want to just put the guy away. Yeah. He's like, we gotta have some other option here. And I think like you run into that a lot when you're in the inner city. Like you're like, do we have to have this kind of response for everything? Like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, people just get so used to, you know, mistreating these people or like, taking away their freedom. Like, I mean, that should be a really heavy... I'm not saying that jails shouldn't exist or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, there should be a real heavy weight in sending anybody to prison for any time, much less, you know what I'm saying, 25 years or whatever.
I agree with you.
But these guys end up in situations where chain reactions happen, and then they ended up holding the bag, and you know, they can't afford a good lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucked, man. It's crazy. They tell me Steven suffers from mental illness and drug addiction. His episodes have kept him in and out the shelter system. Go ahead.
So basically, we're talking about a guy that, he's had past issues, still issues with it.
Still got issues, obviously.
All of a sudden, they hear this crashing about in their apartment. They're like, what in the world? Then they decide to both go in together, the guy and the girl. They go into the apartment, and they're like checking out different things, and then they realize like there's a guy, he's up there, he's got no clothes on, his pants are down by his ankles. The scene's crazy. And eventually the cops get called, not by him. And the cops show up, and they're talking to everybody involved. It seems like they brought that guy, Steven, down, and he stole a pair of the guy's Nikes, as well as his leather jacket. But he just ended up letting him just keep that stuff. It seems like he didn't want to, you know. I thought when he said something about stuff. Is that what he said? Upstairs sucked. The cat's doing fine. The rest is just stuff. Yeah. I liked that line.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah, I mean,
his whole place was a mess.
Stuff was obviously destroyed. The guy left the running water. Like, there was all kinds of stuff. But at the end, he's saying, you know, everything up there sucked. Like, everything that happened was a disaster or whatever. He said the cat's fine, so that's good because that's his little living buddy that's in there, and the rest is just stuff.
Which is all the shit that got robbed, though.
Well, robbed and ruined, and then he said upstairs. He said, "I just seen Steven eating lunch." Like, it was cute to see that he still had like, after this guy wrecked his apartment and stole his shit and all that stuff. Like, he still cared about him, and I saw that also with what we were doing down. You know, there was one guy, I remember we were in the middle of service, and then there was a bunch of commotion outside, and somebody had just, you know, they wanted to end their life. They walked right out into the road with a tractor trailer truck coming down, and the person was able to stop in enough time so he didn't get hit, but then the cops came, and it, you know, turned into a big thing. But then the cops were like, are you going to be responsible? And you were like, okay.
Yeah. I'll be responsible. I'll take him home.
Yeah. So
they said, you're going to take him? I said, yeah, man. We don't need the student system. But, like, we were at church at the time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, and if the church can't come through for somebody, forget about it. But this is just some regular dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I look at what this guy is doing as, like, way more virtuous than, you know? Like, we had a team of people taking care of dude. Like, he didn't violate our space. Like, this dude violated his space. He got up, you know? And, like, Shorty was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
you know? You notice, like, the second half of the song, he didn't really mention Shorty.
Yeah.
That's because she didn't agree with it. She's
Yep.
like, "No, we're gonna prosecute
Yep.
that motherfucker
Yeah.
to the fullest extent of the law."
Yeah, and you know what's the other thing too is like this person really effectively, you know, ruined his shit, his apartment. There was a lot of issues.
Yeah.
It. So people used to come to my house because I was one of the only people that owned a house, so like there was enough space. So everybody would show up to my place, and there was this girl that came, and she was like, she had never worked in the kitchen with me before or since.
Oh God.
And I had a knife set, and like friggin' one of the knives went missing. Now, it was a little bit annoying because the knife, you know, you don't have a full set. Like literally, no, it was a little bit annoying because the knife wasn't always there when you needed it. But it was like absolutely mind-boggling, frustrating for me because I like completion. And my knife set was always something that I really enjoyed, cleaning my knives and sliding them back in. It was so therapeutic for me. And like she took one knife out, and you can't buy another single knife that matches the friggin' set. It wasn't even an expensive set. It was just that it was organized, and it was just, I loved it. And then the knife went missing, and I was like so frustrated. You know, I ended up asking her if she had seen the knife. She was like, no. She's like, well, no. She like immediately went on the defense about that she didn't take the knife. I was like, oh, I didn't say you took the knife. I just didn't know if you know, stuck it in a drawer somewhere, or because I thought perhaps that's what happened. I did too.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot about that. Shout out to Shorty.
Shout out to Shorty. Yeah, it was so annoying.
I just don't understand. Like, she really sat there like, this is going to be, I'm going to really attract like the best guys on the planet. I'm going to put a giant rose on my junk. And that's going to make some guy like, you know.
Is that what it was? A rose?
Yeah, that's what you said it was.
Your memory is so good. No, I actually, if you were going to pin me to it, I was going to say it was her kid's name. I'm pretty sure it was her kid's name. In the shape
of a rose?
Or maybe it had a rose there and it had the kid's name. I just remember, maybe that was somebody else.
I mean, Shorty.
I just feel like that's a bad plan.
Yeah.
Like, to put, like, your kid's name on it.
Anything on your chest area. Like, that does not, look, I'm not saying it's fair, okay? But it does not scream class.
Yeah.
It does not scream, you're going to take me home to see mom.
Right.
I mean, I'll take you somewhere, but not to see my mom. No. Like, I'm sorry, ladies. Fair or not, that's the way it is, bro. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That chick would never set foot in my house again. Which one?
The one that stole the knife.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we don't know if she stole the knife, though. The problem is...
She was the only one... No, I had multiple people in the kitchen with me that day. The problem was she was the only one that was, like, there and then gone. And, like, she never helped out in the kitchen, and she never, you know...
She could have been responsible.
She may have.
But
she
my
also
thing is,
used to walk with, like, this big... Remember you called her Crocodile Dundee?
I used to call her Crocodile Dundee, yeah.
She had this big giant knife that she'd wear.
Giant fucking, like, bush knife or some shit that they call it, like... You gotta ask yourself, like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. She's probably... Honestly, though, she was really pretty. I think she probably was using it for protection, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean... Yeah, I think she was using it for protection too. But of all the places you could taken that knife from, it's got to be your place. Do you open your house to all them people? And Shauna TV's like, she stole that knife. She stole that knife.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. Sori never let that shit go though. But, like, if you look at the song, like, he's really chill. Like, he's really cool.
That's what I'm saying.
He's trying to understand this person. And it is true. Like, when I watched that whole 13th Amendment, aside from the racial ramifications of it, they were just these clips of, like, we're putting human beings in, like, cages.
I
like,
know.
We think that's normal. Then we've got, like, this crazy solitary confinement where dudes are, like,
I just can't believe
18 hours a day completely by themselves. Like, how is that not cool and unusual punishment?
Like, 100%. And I talked to somebody that that works, like, in that system, and like the correction officer type of situation where you're the one that's going to escort people to their cells and this and that. And, like, when the person was talking, I was shocked because the person is religious, they're Catholic, and they're like, I just thought that like that their belief system would be part of their job, but it seemed to me the person's religion was completely separated from their job, and then they had those people separated within them, and it like they definitely had dehumanized that group of people. And I thought, oh my gosh, because we actually knew some people. Is, you know, I don't agree with what he did, but he was fighting back apparently. I don't really know. He had a cup full of urine, and when the officer came by, he was like, and threw it at him. And they went after him, and they smashed his hand and completely disfigured his hand. Like, his knuckles were like, it was pretty crazy. Now, I don't agree with throwing urine in people's faces, you know. But I will always believe that if you have a position of authority, you shouldn't use that to go beyond the, like, what is it Muhammad said, like,
Allah
basically
does
don't
not love
exceed
those who exceed the limits
of the law. Yeah, I think that there's a reaction that the police officers could have in that situation that communicates like, your life is gonna, this is gonna be worse. I don't think you should permanently disfigure somebody's hand though.
I do think the song gives us some like really cool practical steps for advocacy. And it's like, you know, put in perspective what happened. The cat's still alive. That's a companion. All the other shit we can replace. A cat is irreplaceable. Your wife is irreplaceable. Your kids are irreplaceable. So this guy came in and took your shit. Like, I get it. But, I mean, honestly, like, where we were from, it wasn't even the financial aspect of it. It was, like, just the disrespect angle.
What do you mean, the knife?
Stealing from somebody.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily the disrespect.
Just the disrespect angle in the hood. In the hood, it's disrespect. Like, they'll kill you.
Yeah, you open up your house, and it was disrespectful. But for me, it was, like, the biggest thing was just, like, you messed with my system. I loved watching all those knives going in. I never got a knife block like that again. So I was always looking forward to getting another one that would have all the pieces, but I never ended up getting another one. So I think that, I don't know, maybe
But I liked the advocacy that he had for this guy, because like,
yeah,
there's a lot of ways like, okay, let's change the laws and things like that, but it's like the people on the ground interfacing with these police, because the police, like, they're not trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it depends on which one it is, but it doesn't seem like, it seems like it's gone to their heads, you know, a lot of times.
A lot of them. Obviously not gonna, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's not every single one, but, like, you see a lot of videos on, like, TikTok and whatnot where they're saying, like, do this because I said so. Yeah. It's like, what do you mean because you said? You are hired by the people.
Weirdo.
Anyway, what do you give this song? I liked it. I liked the back and forth nature of it. I liked the way that he rapped it, and that it was a storytelling mode, and that it was a storytelling mode that I could understand. You know? Yeah,
I did this. I don't want to come off like, but like, this is the type of shit like, it's thought through. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we always make fun of like Cold Lake, Minnesota, but like, there's a lot of shit out there like that. Like, and now these kids are like, I don't even write. I just go to the studio and whatever pops in my head, I just put it out there. It's like, bro, I can tell.
It's obvious.
Yeah. Jay does that. Big did that. You can't do that. You don't have it like that.
Nope.
Jet's like, I'm not a fan of cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Soraya has permanently been turned against the police.
Well, it's
which
one
is
of those,
funny because like you're related to.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those situations though where if I'm like in a bad situation and you're not there and a cop rolls up, and I'm very grateful that cop rolled up.
Yeah.
But there are other situations
where whoever's
like,
in a bad situation, they should thank God too.
Yeah, don't mess with me.
Yeah. Look, man, this girl will put you down before I will. I'll preach the gospel to you, all type of shit. She'd be like, "You going to hell? You got 3 minutes. You're going to hell." She won't even tell you how to avoid it. She'd be like, "Look, you're bleeding now. You're going straight to hell.
You better repent."
How do I do that, ma'am? I don't know. You only got 2 minutes left.
Figure it out.
But like, I thought this was a real practical way to advocate for somebody, because we were in a situation a couple weeks ago where it was like literally all I had to do was say one word. See what I'm saying? Like, especially when police get involved. Like if you're in a superior position. And in this culture, like him being the victim would have put him in a superior position to that guy. How are you going to use that power? It sounds like just a everyday song, whatever. But it's like, look how this guy used his power.
Yeah.
He used his power as a victim to advocate for this guy.
Yep.
And like that is such an important lesson to understand. Like there's always somebody in a worse situation than you. And it doesn't justify anything that other people do, but it does give you some perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys. Kerry King. Wait, did you rate the song?
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a 9.5.
9.2 for me.
Yeah, and telling this story in specific is really a good thing to do. Yeah. And you know, like, you guys know, like, the thing that really hurt Imagine for me was just how preachy it was and how basic it was. This one, I got the message without having to be preached to. It's like, okay, can you take your time and talk to people? Can you, or advocate for this? I understand they violated your personal space, but can you advocate for this guy? Because obviously he's in a bad situation if he's doing that shit. Like, I just thought that was incredible. I really, really thought that was incredible. And that's one of the things where it's like, I'm going to change the world. You know, like I think Kendrick is like that. Obviously, Kanye is like that.
Yeah.
I think this guy's like that, but he's not, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a big distribution deal, but I really think that this guy's got some quality shit. And for me, like, you have to be able to storytell as a rapper.
Aesop Rock is not that big?
Nah, he's not as big as the other guys, no.
Okay.
But, like, you have to be able to rap, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is a lyrical sport here. What are y'all doing? Anyway, 9.5. Would you give it?
I thought you gave it a 9.6. I'm giving it a 9.2.
All right. We will see you on the other side of the commercial break.
Kerry King coming out. Sori out.
Gone. Kerry King? Kerry King. Let me find out.
I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
To buy our merch.
Yes, listen.
All right, you guys. Kerry King Residue is up next. This is for the big homie Ben Bear. Ben says, from Kerry King's new self-titled solo project, which debuted the first album, From Hell I Rise, just last Friday. In case you have forgotten, Kerry King was the bald guitarist with the huge chains and the big braid beard from Slayer. This is track 3, Kerry King Residue. Let's check it out.
Here go the lyrics, the lyrics, and then Kerry King, where are you, my friend? Where are you, my friend?
24.
Where are you, Kerry King? Kerry King, where are you?
Come to us.
All right, here we go. Kerry King, let's do it.
There's the picture, you guys. This is what the homie looks like, I believe. The big, he said bald guy. I actually can't see the braid. Oh, I see the braid now.
Yeah, that's just the picture though. That's not the actual.
Yeah, I know. That's the picture for the corner.
Where's the song though?
It was right there, right?
All right, here we go. Kerry King Residue.
Check it out.
said that, right?
Yep, we
Here
did.
we go.
We did.
I am actually extremely shocked. I'm extremely shocked.
At?
Well, you know, Kerry King would always do those weird solos.
Oh.
Didn't make any sense. I'm like, oh, it's this guy, man.
So
This
what
guy's
is going
overrated. This
on?
guy's trash. Solo was great. Solo fit. It was legible. I could understand it. The beats were a little... We've seen it before, but
I enjoyed
the
them.
way he combined it with the intonation was great. I like the song. Yeah, I'm going to say that. I like the song. Go ahead.
Yeah, so lyrically, we've got... It starts out with, oh, you're deranged, insane, tirade will incite, flash flood of blood feeds the parasite. Words sting, hate clings just like residue. I know tenfold it comes back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, is this... I'm assuming that the deranged, insane tirade, there's somebody else that's in maybe some sort of leadership role or has some sort of influence over him. And he's saying, like, it's not going well. And then he says, I know it's going to tenfold going to come back on you. In other words, what you've given to us or me personally, negativity is going to come. Like, not negativity, but, like, tenfold what you put on me is going to come back to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He says, I'm in mental retrograde. What's that?
He's going back.
He's going back. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's my crusade. It started out being the bad guys, and now he's taking it. He's taking the whole thing over. I think
he's saying that, like, he's done doing stuff for everybody else. He's going to look out for himself now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Your blood hordes scream. War upset reignites. Pulsate. Okay, wait a minute. Where was the other one? Tenfold back to you. Rise from the chaos. Time to strike. Calculated. Perpetrated. I need intensity to spike. Mm-hmm. Dominating, liberating, because this is anarchy. So it seems like he's fighting against this one that was deranged and insane in the tirade. And he's calling it anarchy when he fights against it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Right.
Is anarchy any time that there's an established leadership system and you are going against it?
Yeah, anarchy just means no law, no hierarchy. It's it's ultra, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So what are you getting from that then?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seemed like just that this person was under, I mean, it did remind me of the college I once attended. You know, like, it was just so much law, and there was so much rules, and there was so much, like, I can't believe those people should be embarrassed for the amount of control that they were trying to put over all of these people that they don't even know. It's crazy. The more time I'm away from it, the more I realized, like, what were these people doing? And who was running, you know, it's that whole thing where you say, like, the insane are running the asylum. Like, It was one of those situations. It was 100%. Like, all of you people, like, had massive control issues. And there I landed myself. No wonder I was all... Yeah, and then what ended up happening was when I left there, I was so friggin' sick of, like... I had, like, anarchy in my heart, for sure. I remember I came back from Bible college. As I came back in mid-Bible college... You know, I'd be like all like dressed like we were supposed to, all proper and such. And I was preaching great messages. Then I went away to Latvia on like this mission thing. People like donated money to help that whole process happen.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, friggin' I would wear a sweatshirt to church and I'd pop that hood up and I was sitting there like this. I didn't even care anymore. I didn't care about like looking a certain way for everybody. I was spent. So like when they're talking about it, it's this mental retrograde and this like, so now it's my crusade and rise from the chaos, time to strike, calculated, perpetrated. I need intensity to spike, dominating, liberating, because this is anarchy. I can't find where liberty goes to die, he keeps saying. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you're seeing this person that's been under the boot and they're like, I'm not doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. And this is human nature, right? This is what happens when certain groups of people are put under the boot of other groups of people. Eventually they fight back.
Yeah, I mean, there's no two ways about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, calculated, perpetrated. I need intensity to spike. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think that, you know, the January 6th stuff,
mm-hmm.
definitely that people have, like, said crazy shit. Like, I think Kamala Harris or somebody said it was worse than 9/11.
That you said what was?
October 7th.
Worse than 9/11?
Yeah.
Well, in what way? What are we saying? Because people like had the audacity to step foot over there like that, or
yeah, like
because we're talking about that was at the Capitol, right?
what one? The attack on the 7th?
Yeah.
That was when the Hamas attacked the Israelis.
Oh.
So they're saying that was worse than what happened to our folks on 9/11. So like, it's just
when Hamas attacked the Israelis.
Yeah, October 7th.
They're comparing that
to 9/11.
To 9/11.
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
But like, if you just look at our government, like all these adjectives and all these action verbs, like we did all this shit, you know, like, and you kind of have to go back in the mental retrograde to some degree in order to justify your country. You know, at some point you have to be like, oh, you know, it's tough. It's tough, man. You know, outcast, derelict, cold sweat, false threats, nothing comes of it.
What do you think he meant when he says, I can't find where liberty goes to die? I can't find where liberty goes to die.
Well, that could be
in other words, where is freedom actually? Where does it, you know, because obviously, where does freedom go to die?
Yeah, where does liberty go to die? It just looks to me like America, we were supposed to be the leaders of the free world.
Yeah.
And now we're passing all these and how recent in this is this song? That's the other thing.
Oh, this just came out last week.
Yeah, so anything like, yeah, so I definitely think there's a big strain of the country that feels, you know, silenced. You know, the inability, and some of that's in their head, but some of it's also like factual. Like we saw what happened with the Twitter files. Like, yeah, like that was happening, but it wasn't happening to the degree that everybody thought it was. To where it's going to completely influence an election. I don't believe that, but the damage has already been done. You know what I'm saying? And if these people were not so crooked, we would all just throw out that accusation like wholesale.
What do you mean?
In other words, if these people were not so crazy about lying about everything, you know, we would have at least a fighting chance of believing what they say. But now we're kind of in the grips of, I don't want to say anarchists, because I don't really think that anarchy is actually a possible way to actually have a government.
Not long term,
But it does make people vulnerable to the concept and then the commensurate surrendering of rights to a small group of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure that human beings have figured out how to function without hierarchy. And I'm not sure that we were even supposed to.
That's what I was going to ask you.
It's like we're pack rats at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about the song. I got to give it to him, man. Like, I never really, like, gave him his respect as a songwriter or whatever.
I was impressed. I was impressed with this one.
This was hard, man. It was a hard song.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, we've kind of heard that progression before, but like not the way that he did it.
Yeah,
the way
and
that he
it felt
did
like it had
crazy.
it felt like it like had this sort of like heaviness to it, but this like sort of calculated heaviness. But it felt like it was different, and there was a couple different times where it kind of
they weren't just setting shit on fire. Like I agree with that.
I actually gave this one a 9.8.
I gave this one a 9.6. 9.6.
Okay.
That was hard. I'm not gonna lie. That was hard. That was hard, guys. Commercial
All right,
break.
you guys, we got more.
We'll be right back. More. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft.
What?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vinand Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, Charles Arlington.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are in the midst of a giant ultra stream.
Yes. 2:40 is our timestamp, and this song is from Revo. Revo picked this one. It's called Stonewall Jackson.
Revo in this bitch.
Waterloo. Revo says, here's a song from a little forgotten part of country music history. I'm not a particular fan of this style of country, but my uncle loved these songs. Most country fans today don't like or well remember this era of country music. Stonewall Jackson was named after the Confederate general, and in some press releases in the 1950s, claimed he was related to the general. Probably not true. In the late 1950s, he began performing on the Grand Ole Opry, which was the main country music show of the time. At the time of our 50 years ago music streams, that show was featuring President Nixon to court country music fans and the South into the GOP column. This performance is from that show. He later sued them in 2008 for ageism when they tried to get rid of him. Stonewall Jackson got a record contract with Columbia Records, whose management notoriously hated rock and roll as it passed up chances to sign Elvis or Buddy Holly.
Jeez.
At this time, they were releasing country songs about epic battles, gun duels, or war songs. This year, 1959, saw them release the epics of Marty Robbins' El Paso and Johnny Horton's Battle of New Orleans. This year was also when the Senate was holding investigations into payola in the music industry. Sinatra testified that while at Columbia Records, Mitch Miller, Columbia's A&R man, used payola himself. Wait, what's payola?
I think it's a psychedelic.
Oh.
Maybe peyote? Peyote? I don't know.
This was a #1 hit on the country music charts, as well as a crossover hit on the pop charts as it reached #4. It was written by John D. Loudermilk and Mahorjan Wilkin.
John D. Loudermilk?
Yep.
Aren't you watching a show called Loudermilk?
That's right. I don't actually watch it that night. I gave it up. It was getting boring.
Oh.
It is also produced by British producer Don Law. The song, actually, I don't know if it was getting boring. I think I forgot about it. The song
Payola
references
was paying for airplay.
Oh.
Pay to play.
The song references the French Emperor Napoleon, Adam and Eve, and Tom Dooley. His story is famously told in folk song, which the group The Kingston Trio had a #1 hit with a year prior. All right, you guys, let's check it out. Stonewall Jackson, Waterloo.
Alrighty then, let's do it.
Mr. Stonewall Jackson and all the Minutemen. Waterloo, where will you meet your Waterloo? Every puppy had his day, everybody has to pay, everybody has to meet at Waterloo. Now old Adam was first in history with an apple. He was tempted and deceived just for spite. The devil made him take a bite, and that's where old Adam met his Waterloo. Waterloo, Waterloo, where will you meet your Waterloo? Every puppy had his day, everybody has to pay, everybody has to meet his Waterloo. Little General Napoleon of France tried to conquer the world, but he lost his pants, met defeat. And all his born Bonaparte's retreat, and that's when Napoleon met his Waterloo. Waterloo, Waterloo, where will you meet your Waterloo? Every puppy had his day, everybody has to pay, everybody has to meet his Waterloo. Now, feller, this darling proved untrue, took her life, but he lost his tooth. Now he swings where the little birdie sings, and that's where old Dilly met his Waterloo. Waterloo, Waterloo, where will you meet your Waterloo? Every puppy had his day, everybody has to pay, everybody has to meet his Waterloo. Poor boy. Thank you.
Waterloo, Jet, is the fateful place where Napoleon met his fate, where he lost.
Yeah, the Waterloo is a decisive or final defeat or setback. It's also a place.
I literally just said that about Napoleon.
Yeah, you talked about Napoleon, but
he famously lost at Waterloo.
That's how the word got its meaning. Yeah. After that, it became known as defeat, like Trump.
Yeah. What do you mean, like Trump?
You know, like when people will say, like, what did I say?
Trumped up
the
charges.
Trump. No. You'll say, now I forgot. Like, you'll use Trump in a
Waterloo
phrase.
just means it just means you lost.
But was Waterloo a physical place?
Yeah.
Right. And
you saw the movie.
You look at the way that you're speaking to me right now.
What do you mean?
So it's a physical place. Oh, in the Napoleon one. Oh, yeah. I forgot.
And there you were persecuting. Look how he's talking to me, she said.
I actually liked that movie, the Napoleon movie.
That was a horrible movie.
I know, you did not like it. He was like, we hated that movie. I was like, you.
That was the dumbest movie I've ever seen in my life. For somebody of that man's stature, that was the stupidest, most ridiculous. Like, I don't care if he was like chasing Shorty around under his table. Like, this guy's one of the greatest war generals of all time. And I don't care that he was freaky with his girlfriend. It's ridiculous.
I think that they were trying to show us like this different side because
I didn't want to see a different side of him. I wanted to see him as a warrior. Like,
yeah, I thought it was really interesting to see his.
That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that should have told you right there in their means testing that wasn't going to go over well. Wow. Negative Vibes is with me. I'm with Vin on the Napoleon movie. Ridley Scott did him so dirty. 100%, man. I can't even believe that Joaquin Phoenix like agreed to that fucking role. It was a fucking disaster.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
It's so stupid. It's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, I mean.
What?
She was a terrible woman.
Oh, look, all his historical advisors for the movie told him not to do it. Exactly. Like, why? I have no... that was like one of the most disappointing moments in me. Obviously, the most disappointing moment in media for me was Game of Thrones.
Oh, my gosh.
I will never, ever forgive whoever was responsible for that monstrosity of the last 3-4 episodes.
Everybody involved.
All of them deserve to have their acting licenses revoked.
Yep.
But
get another job.
Yeah, so Waterloo is a place where it's like everybody's like, "Yo, I don't think we're gonna do good here."
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you talking about, bro? We got this. We good."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he lost. So it's like, "What's your Waterloo? Where will you meet your Waterloo? Like, it's gonna come for you eventually."
Yeah.
Where is it? You know? Waterloo, where will you meet your Waterloo? This sounded like some like old school gospel. Like me and homegirl used to go to this church. It's called the Gospel Hall, and it was like that's how it sounded.
Yeah,
that's how every
every
single song sounded. But they were not allowed to use instruments, so it was just, But at the time we're like, whatever, they believe in the Rapture, so we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. So it kind of goes through a couple of different situations. Like we're talking about Napoleon. He tried to conquer the world, but he lost his pants. What is that? I don't remember that part.
What happened? He lost his pants? Is that what it said?
That's what it said. He lost his pants.
Maybe they're talking about his girlfriend or some shit.
Met defeat known as Bonaparte's retreat, and that's when Napoleon met his Waterloo. Then you go, every puppy has his day. Wait, I thought we had Adam and Eve in here.
Yeah, he did. Look at verse 1. Now Adam was the first in history with an apple. He was tempted and deceived just for spite. The devil made him take a bite, and that's where Adam met his Waterloo. That's not true, though.
No, that isn't true.
It actually says that Eve was deceived. Adam was not. That's what the scripture says. It says Adam was not deceived. It was Eve who was deceived. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, all the men are like, see, we're not dumb. It's like, yeah, that means that you did it in complete and total high-handed rebellion. Mm-hmm. That's what that means. The fact that we were not deceived means we did it with both eyes open without any sort of redemptive ideology behind it, other than just we don't want God to see what we're doing. At least Eve had the decency to be deceived. She had to be tricked into doing it. She had to be tricked into disobeying God. But Adam, the devil's like, I don't even need to fool this nigga, bro. Yeah. Like, come on. You know you want the fruit. Girl ate the fruit. Just eat the fruit, nigga. Let's go.
He's like, I'll have it.
No, I'll take that. I might as well. And this man, Adam, was like, it's all good, because if Yahweh catches me, I'm just be like, yo,
I'm going to blame it on
shorty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had an airtight plan.
He did that immediately.
He had an airtight plan.
I wish I had a little panel that was like sound effects.
Worthless.
I would have done the sound of like a bus, and then it backs up. That's what he did to poor old Eve.
The end of Mass Effect was a great disappointment. Yeah, there is going to be no other moment in TV history that's more disappointing to me than Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
what a beautiful, amazing, complex, crazy, evil, wondrous story.
I couldn't believe they did that. I just couldn't believe it.
And then they took out Cersei in like the worst. She's sitting there holding on to her.
I felt so offended.
Her what do you call it?
Her
her
incestuous
brother's
relationship.
Yeah, and she's sitting there whining and crying. It's like, come on, man, like you're what?
I just thought that she was gonna get her get back after they imprisoned her.
Yeah, man. That shit was trash, bro.
It really was.
I was like, are you
trash. Serious?
They just rushed that shit because there was like a cultural phenomenon happening. The reason there was a cultural phenomenon was because
they were writing
the movie was so fucking crazy. Yeah, it was such a good show.
And they just
whatever.
Bombed. Okay.
Whatever. I will never watch them again. Even the House of the Dragon, whatever. I didn't even watch that shit. I don't care.
Nope.
Because I'm gonna get all attached to the people. Then you're gonna like completely destroy the character, and then you're not gonna have her go out in a blaze of glory. Mm-hmm. This is bullshit.
I think that there was another thing too with that one. I remember we had like people were coming into our comment section, and then somebody basically said, "You do know that, like, basically these girls like they didn't want to do the nude scenes like it was like that. There was so much nudity in it, and there was some of the girls that did not want to do it, but to have the job that they had to." And I remember somebody brought that up or something similar to that in our comment section, and you were like, I'm gonna have to rethink that because that's totally different, because that was like another form of like, you know, some
yeah.
And you were like I may never watch that again because of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to come off as better than I am. I remember that conversation, but yeah, to be consistent, I should do that. But my real problem is the way that they had Cersei go out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, that's true too. But I'm not gonna like my biggest issue, like my most dominant reason for not watching that show is what they did with the Cersei character. I just
yeah,
I couldn't stand that shit.
Yeah,
she was completely the opposite. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about. We're talking about Waterloo. Well, that was Waterloo for Amazon Prime or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, the song was kind of funny and stuff like that, the Waterloo. But it's like he's singing about some real shit here.
Yeah.
Because like he's saying you're gonna meet your. It's kind of eerie too, because it's like this is gonna happen to you.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? It's like and it's like you're gonna think you have it, and you don't really have it. Like that's scary. And like, and that's one of the things like I hated about that stupid Napoleon movie was like, what was going into his head when everybody was like, yo, this ain't gonna work, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what was going through his head? But, like, they didn't really have a lot of time to... I didn't like it per se for different reasons, but that Oppenheimer movie, like, you really got to see in this dude's psyche.
Oh, yeah. You didn't like it?
Like, the way...
Yeah. Okay.
Just the way they set it up. Like, you really saw into this dude's psyche. Like,
yeah.
You really understood, like, all the different angles about his guilt, but his pride in the bomb and all this other stuff. And,
yeah, it was crazy.
Dealing with the ramifications and, like, how do you absolve your conscience because the president is telling you, hey, it's my decision. That was a pretty important line. The president was like, look, I'm the one making this decision, blah, blah, blah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I really got to see, like, what we think he must have been going through. So here it's like, where's your Waterloo? So he goes all the way back to Adam and Eve, first in history with an apple. So he was tempted to deceive just for spite. Obviously, he was not deceived.
Right.
Waterloo, Waterloo, where will you meet your Waterloo? Every puppy has his day, everybody has to pay. I mean, God. That's how you feel in the Bronx, right? You're like, everybody has a day when it's going to be over for you. You know? And I used to be like, it's bad luck. We were like mega superstitious back in the day.
Oh, really?
Mega. So you step on a crack, you do this, you do that. You make a cutting motion.
That's got to be such a long existence. You have to be that meticulous.
Yeah, then I remember I was a Christian at some point in my life. I'm like, this is a bullshit. Really? We stepped on a crack, now I'm just going to shoot us on the train? It don't make no sense. But Waterloo, Waterloo, will you meet? That's a precautionary tale, man. That's a real
I just think that it's
precautionary tale.
Precautionary tale, yeah. Or it just might be like, look, everybody's going to have a Waterloo. So prepare yourself for your Waterloo. Like, you don't want to be, like, remember, was it Wall Street? Wall Street was having some real bad numbers or something. People were jumping out of the building.
The Great Depression.
Right.
I remember.
The Great Depression. So, you want to make sure that when your Waterloo shows up, you're friggin' ready for that shit. So you're not jumping out windows,
Yeah, like these the whole participation trophy thing. Like, we got one of our kids, it's in football, and he didn't get to play today. He didn't get to play today because he doesn't have the athleticism, and he hasn't been worshiping football his whole life. So, like, dude, you just walked onto the field. Right. You're not going to get to play in 3 days. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But, like, it's a tough thing that he has to overcome, psychologically, and definitely want to help him. But it's like, that's your kind of like your Waterloo, people telling you like, yo, I don't think it's going to work out for you exactly the way you think it's going to work out. You see what I'm saying? Yep. But, I'm going to be there for him and stuff, but like, that's part of it. That's part of growing up and understanding where your limitations are. Yeah. And understanding, we talked about this, knowing how to lose. Because you got folks that don't know how to lose. Yeah. Like Vaughn. Yeah. Trump. Like, don't know how to lose. Like, you got all these people talking about democracy and all this. Like, I don't really think that was going on with dude, man. I just think he just couldn't countenance losing to Joe Biden when we all thought he had Parkinson's or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think he could handle that. Trump. Oh. Because he kind of met his Waterloo with Biden, and I just don't think that he could handle it. Yeah. He couldn't handle,
Yep. I mean, the song itself definitely is very dated, obviously. I mean, it was, how far along? This is the 1970s. Released 59. In the 59. Yeah. So there was a sound about it that I think reminded me of church, but also there was like the sound of it that reminded me of my grandmother and the stuff that she would kind of put on. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's, everybody has to pay. It's going to happen to all of us, so I think even the message you could pull something out of that, because you could just be like, look, like I said before, like, prepare yourself. There's a scripture talks about the evil day. Yeah. Right? And so you're supposed to...
So you'll be able to withstand the evil day. It's Ephesians 6.
Yeah, you're supposed to pray, pray for that and stuff. Pray for that day. Pray for the day that you're going to... It's interesting because when you think God is outside of time, and so I think about this all the time, in regards to, people at the end of their lives and, like, those moments that they have. Like, I love the fact that if something happens, it's not like you're going to pray for everybody every single day. I mean, there's people that don't stay in your mind. They just don't. 100%. And then, you find out something went sideways with the person. You're like, oh shit, I wasn't praying for that person. I love that because God is outside of time. Like, he's not bound by the restrictions that I am. So I know that I can say my prayer now and God will slide it on the timeline where it needs to be. So I'll pray for those people that God, give them peace in their end moments. And yeah, I'm with it. So I liked this song because it had like a sort of nostalgic feel to me. kind of brought me back to hanging around Meme's place with the radio going.
Yeah.
So she always had a lot of sunlight coming into her windows.
Biden was talking about that, having the kids sit and listen by the radio.
Mm-hmm.
They can learn.
That's right.
Have your little Negro babies sit.
Oh no! Oh no!
Have your little nigger babies come in. Have them sit by the radio. Because the other white lady said that black people don't know how to use computers and shit. Like, inner city kids don't know how to use computers. Then how the fuck were we bootlegging CDs in the 1990s?
Yeah, that's right. You can't be both.
We knew more than y'all about how to do that shit. What the fuck you talking about? You guys discovered Napster, nigga. We had Napster. We had Napster in the street. Shout out to my white politicians packing black people in the head. Hey, Negro, this is how you turn on the internet. Maybe Al Gore can come down and teach some, because you know Al Gore invented the internet. Get this song before I get myself in trouble.
All right, you guys, I am gonna give this one
knocking on my door.
A 9.4. 9.4 because it's got nostalgia points.
Hey, I'm not giving it no nostalgia points. I was not alive when this man was making this music, bro.
Yeah, you didn't have family members or anybody that listened to it?
Hell no. What do you mean?
Okay, so what are you giving it?
I'm going to give this one a solid 8 out of 8.
Solid 8.8 for Vinny. We're coming right back with Tribunal.
You merely adopted the Napster.
I was born in it.
We are initiated.
Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, you guys, we'll be right back. We'll be right
Yo, Christine Hart, that girl is dark as hell. You see that? Yeah, just gotta find a town full of people I don't like for a sacrifice.
I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSori. There's 1,000 people on the channel. It offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, you need to tell them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener.
All right, you guys. Tribunal Without Answer is the next song on our list. Let's see who this is from. This is from F.HERO. Tribunal is a gothic doom metal band from Vancouver who released their debut album last year.
They are from Canada? On purpose? We continue.
But it was last year, so.
Still did it on purpose.
Maybe.
There's no excuse.
Maybe they do a drive-by. As Drake is on his way in, they're on their way out.
No excuse to being Canadian. None.
All right. I had 2 bands that I considered. I had 2 bands that I considered a tie for my album of the year in 2023. The first was Fires in the Distance. The big homie Northern Scoundrel recently submitted their song Wisdom of Falling Leaves. Remember that for you. This album by Tribunal was the second. Also, I know you've come to expect my picks to include some sort of classical instrument. And I say, how dare you make such an assumption? But yeah, there's a cello in this one. All right, you guys, that's F.HERO. You know who he is.
What a loser F.HERO is.
You're always saying that of poor F.HERO.
What a loser you are, F.HERO.
Don't accept that from him. Do not let him call you
What
that.
did Trump say about McCain? He doesn't like losers.
Yeah,
he got captured.
He got captured. He said, "Is this happening?"
You going straight to the fire, bro.
He said, "Wait, what? This was after we all heard that he escaped the draft somehow or something."
Yeah, because he had a fucked up leg.
Yeah, it's like, oh, really? You had a fucked up leg? Okay.
Yo, we have to be in a simulation. If you don't believe in the simulation hypothesis, how the fuck do you explain all this, dear listener?
Yeah, explain that.
How?
Oh, my word.
And he still won. The Republicans still voted for him.
We're doomed. We are doomed.
Oh, shit.
That's not good.
You just couldn't leave well enough alone.
Well, it's that my headphones were having a situation.
So you stay bothering me, bro. God.
What happened?
You just...
Seriously, what happened? I didn't even... I must have touched something. Did something get unplugged?
I'm just glad that there are some witnesses here to see this shit.
I know. Oh my gosh.
What did you unplug, bro?
I don't know. All I did... I was touching this.
None of the lights are on now. Oh, this is so annoying, B.
Wait.
Damn.
That one's not working either?
Obviously not. Just turn the light on. Let's go. Turn on the other light, bro. Let's go. You're killing me. We good. We just keep it right here.
That one work?
We just keep it right here.
Oh, it's this. Figured it out. That explains it. My knuckle hit it. All right, we're back. Oh, Vin, don't be so mad.
You ready?
We are ready. All right, you guys. Oh, wait, let me get the timestamp. Tribunal 3:06. Without answer.
Tribunal without answer. Here we go. Vinand and Sori in this bitch.
Yes.
Tribunal without... Oh, the weight of it. Okay, this is the entire track. So what point is in the song?
Oh, well, let me look. Timestamp 29:15.
Okay.
And it's going to 35:29.
Here we go. Tribunal without answer. Let's go. Barnes.
F.HERO.
That was F.HERO's crew?
Yeah, F.HERO.
Okay, what do you got? What do you got?
That
Bring them out, bring them out.
I loved this song. I loved what it sounded like. I was surprised that there was the female vocals in it, and then when they went into the other vocal style was crazy. And the song is so friggin' real, you know? Like, so it says, I cry out for you with all of my heart, but I know I'll hear nothing but the rain. So the person is praying, and they're getting no response. And then it says, the ravages of time take all your faith. The veil of ignorance hides all of your pain. Unlucky to see such days. I wish that I still knew how to pray. And so, like, it seems like that time, you know, we talk about time in an interesting way, because time is, it's a thing in and of itself, and it's also a thing that, you know, like we'll say time heals all wounds, when that's not true. Time in and of itself doesn't do anything. Time is just, you know, whatever intention you put in for a span of time, that is time, you know? And that decides when there's going to be healing or when there's going to be change. So the ravages of time take all your faith. Like, it just seems like as time progressed, like, life and everything that happened, it like stole this person's faith away. And then it says, but when I look up to the sky and I see nothing but the stars, recite the words etched in my heart without answer from above. It seems like, again, when it says the words etched in my heart, it seems like the person is looking up at the stars. And at that point, it would be like, are you going to have this sort of connection with God, or is it going to be, or not? And that's what it seemed to me like. I've always been a Christian. Like, I don't even remember a time that I wasn't. But I did go through a really, really dark period. And it got so dark, I essentially felt like I forgot how to pray. I know that sounds it seems even wild to hear myself say it, but that's how I felt. And when I was reading, like, the Bible, a lot of it didn't make any sense to me. And I remember I've always looked up at the stars as like something special between me and God. And it was like this sort of, you look up at the stars and you're experiencing it, and you're like, everything is bigger than me. But I am seen individually right now. Like, it was, you know, like there's the idea of two people under the same moon separated by distance, but you're together because you see the same moon. And it was like, okay, God creates this sky, and I'm looking up at the sky, and he's projecting the sky down. But in this moment, like, I'm understanding who I am in his presence. And you feel small, but you don't feel insignificant. You feel wildly significant. But you feel small because he's so great. And so that made sense to me, you know, the way that was worded. And it says, the days that I felt so safe, I felt so loved. The cold, fractured stone that digs into my knees reminds me of how this used to feel. So it seems like the person is thinking back to a time, which I'm assuming was when they could pray, and when they had that connection, when they still had their faith. And how that when they were in that time period, like, they felt safe, they felt loved. But then they're talking about the cold, fractured stones that are digging into their knees. And I think that they're describing that moment that they were losing their faith. Like, that, the feeling of, like, the, you know, the stones just crushed into their knees, reminding me of how I used to feel. Like, because I think that as time progresses, you don't maybe feel the insane intensity of those moments. But at the same time, this person still sounds like they're in the midst of something really intense, because they want that prayer. They want that time with God, and they want it seems like that they want their faith. It's just not there. And I think that, you know, hey, what do I know? I think that this person, just hearing this song to me, tells me that they have a deep connection with the supernatural, and that God brings you through times like that, where he's refining you and he's doing something different in you. And like, it was like that for me. Like, it got really cold. It got really, you know, I felt like I was disconnected from everything. And I remember times where it felt like safe and loved by God. And I felt like I was so far away from that. So, I mean, I think that this person, you know, if you have a genuine intention toward God, he's gonna find you again. You know, that's that whole...
The scripture says, you'll seek me and find me when you seek me with your whole heart. I'll be found by you, says the Lord.
Yeah.
So, like, God, it's just like any other relationship, man. He likes to be pursued.
Yep.
And I think that's important to understand. Like, if we're in a relationship with God, you know, he pursues us.
Yep.
right? He wants to be pursued as well. He wants to be seen as highly valuable, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's how it, you know?
This picture that I wanted to put up.
The ravages of time take all your faith. That's a good line because I was just talking to Sori about that yesterday. You know, like the older you get, the more people in the roster start dropping off. And I don't feel like my age, but I know I'm not a 20-year-old anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's a weird.
Put that up on the screen.
It's a weird kind of like thing to go through. You know, it's kind of like a strange thing, like reconciling that because I never thought I would even
hit this age.
Hit that age, much less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I was gonna really make it past 18 either. This picture, I just thought, you know, I don't believe that Jesus was white. He was a Jewish man, you know, and, you know, not a European Jew. So.
God. Okay.
What?
So he's keeping the bulls at bay.
Yeah, but no, please, why did you just get rid of it so quick?
Oh, I thought you were done. My bad.
No, I just wanted to clarify that because I always, you know, want there to be the truth out there. But anyway, and you're really not supposed to make pictures of Jesus either. But nevertheless, I really like this scene because there's a parable where Jesus leaves the 99 sheep to go after the one that's missing. And so this song kind of reminded me of that. Like this is that person, like they're that sheep and Jesus is going to fight off those wolves and find them again.
That's crazy.
So love this song. Love the way that the artist put this out there. I mean, F.HERO, it was really top notch. Oh, I know. Yeah. Cause the wolves are digging them all up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful picture. I look at it sometimes. I'm like, wow, like that is. So yeah, I loved it. I love this song. For me, this is going on my playlist. Okay. This is a 10 for me. This is a 10 for me. What do you
really a 10?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I loved it. And also, like, there's a lot of songs that you guys will be like, oh, that's so relatable. You related to it. It was a timepiece in your life. This one was a time period for me, for sure.
9.2.
Just described it perfectly. 9.2 for you?
9.2 for me.
F.HERO, thanks a lot for this one. I really, really, really liked it.
You stick with that 10?
I'm sticking with a 10. It was a 10 for me. I really, really liked it. Like I said, it's
F.HERO song gets the 10.
It's good. Well, no, the last time we gave him like a super low score. I don't know if you remember that. Insulting.
I knew Sori would love the cello.
Yeah, it was
Sori
really
loves
great.
a commercial break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
You losers. Get out.
Sori out.
Gone. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at Sori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
They do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/VinandSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Y'all shall need them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We have the great Joe Biden with us in this bitch.
Lucky us.
Okay.
Lucky us. All right, you guys.
We've got some baby metal.
Some
baby metal.
This is, you know who, DJ Mike Franco has brought these next 2 picks to us. This is the band. I didn't actually, he wants that shown on there. I didn't actually take that. You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, send it to me.
Okay. Save image. save. And then I shall send it. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. There you go. Thanks. All right. This is their band folder flyer. Let me just grab that timestamp also.
Okay.
3:23. Okay. This is what DJ Mike Franco has to say. He says, BAND-MAID is a Japanese rock band that was formed in 2013. Same year the Warning Band was formed. BAND-MAID is making hard waves in the rock industry and touring around the world. This band will be touring a show with The Warning on June of 2024 in Japan. I'm happy for these two bands recognizing each other's talents. Enjoy my favorite pick from BAND-MAID. Says Franco.
This is BAND-MAID.
Please show the flyer I posted of their tour. Thank you. That's The Warning and BAND-MAID.
That's The Warning and BAND-MAID, dear listener.
This is their flyer because they are touring together in Japan.
Now, this is their music because this is what they're touring with. We will be the judge as to whether or not it's good music. What do you say, dear listener?
Yeah.
Here we go. Song numero uno. Let's do it.
Of BABYMETAL.
Yeah. What's it called?
Let's go. This one is called BAND-MAID. Or maybe the title is Hate.
Hate. BAND-MAID. All right, here we
Hate
go.
is the name of the song. Yep. right, you guys. That was BAND-MAID, Japanese rock band.
They're doing a cover.
Oh, is this a cover?
I think somebody mentioned might have been a cover of a BABYMETAL song. I'm not sure. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I thought that when the song first started, I was like, okay, this is kind of, because I was expecting a little bit more like The Warning, but they're like BABYMETAL. They started at the same time. I thought that was pretty cool, and I love the fact that those two girls groups are supporting each other, and then they're doing a thing together. That's pretty, because it's cross-cultural, you know?
Yeah, that's very rare that, you know, one of them isn't stealing from the other and catching bad blood and all the rest of it. It looks like they really... Yeah. Like they figure out where each other's coming from, you know?
So it sounds like Shorty's in a bad relationship, right? It's about time you shut up. It starts out with,
holy hell.
No more telling me what to do. Your words, your voice, your gestures, I hate them all. You know, if the relationship gets to that point,
I think it's over with.
You're going to need something real serious. Your touch, just more disdain. Not an ounce of appeal. Just who do you think you are? Never show your face again. Never. Enough. No sense in trying anymore. Not even a zero. No shape, no forms. Feeling in your chest, sway and waver. That reasoning won't work. Won't change my mind. So it seems like she's leaving. You know, it's not working for her, and it's to the point where she really cannot stand him anymore.
Yeah. I'm seeing that.
Just using me to make you feel you have meaning. 10 minutes of limp gymnastics, nothing much to it. Just a big misplaced attitude.
See, that right there, like, you used to watch these sitcoms, and the person always feel, the girl would always feel bad about themselves. It's usually the older brother or the dad. They'd sit down and say, "Come on, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're funny, you know, you've got a good heart." Like all these things that like are not really definable. What do you mean she's smart? Compared to who? What do you mean she has a generous heart? Compared to who? Like, developing those personality traits don't necessarily win a man's heart, unfortunately.
Okay. Fill us in, Vin.
Well, I mean, they just don't. Like, especially if you're in your 20s, like, man, we just didn't care. Let's say it that way. We just didn't care. Like, for us, the compatibility had to work at the physical level before we'd even, like, open the door.
That's why they always say men are visual.
Yeah, well, you got to admit, man, you guys carry a lot of baggage. And so when it's you know, like, I don't want to get into it, but it's a lot of baggage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Well, no, I'm just...
You're just saying women in general, or what are you saying?
Like, there's a big thing right now on TV.
Because I just want to point out
there's a big thing that's happening right now
it's actually the man that's in the bad situation in this song.
Agree, no, but like we were watching this thing, and the guy was talking about, you know, relationships and who usually apologizes, who doesn't, that type of thing. And so, like, the study basically found that nobody cares if a man suffers in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Aside from the man himself. But other than that...
The study found this out?
Yeah, basically that's the idea, yeah. Because they looked at the way that the family members treated the guys in the breakup and the girls in the breakup. See what I'm saying? It was a lot different. So...
Yeah, okay.
But... Like, just using me to make you feel like you have meaning, that is a hell of a line, man, because it's like, okay, I'm not attracted to you for all the superficial reasoning. This is like an actual deep reasoning.
Yeah, well, she's saying you're using me to make you feel like that you have meaning.
Yeah.
Which she's saying you don't have meaning.
No, I don't think that. She's not saying you don't have meaning. She's just saying you don't need to use me to find your meaning.
To make you feel you have meaning.
Yeah.
Oh,
you don't
I
need
thought she
that
was
because
saying...
you already have it. Well, it's like the cowardly lion. Like, he wished he had a heart, but he didn't. He already had a heart. See what I'm saying?
Right.
But, like, yeah, that line is crazy because that does happen, especially in, like, Christian marriages, man. Like, I will say...
Did you see this? Oh, go ahead. Carry on.
I will say for me, like, you know what? I'm not going to say that because the kids might see the video. Sorry, guys.
The pre-chorus...
Maybe I'll see it on Patreon.
The pre-chorus says, "When I wake, my body shudders. Just a stack of failure. No hope to be someone. Even just once. No forgiveness." So, is she... What do you think she's talking about there? Is she talking about... Because before she's saying, like, Like she's just going after the guy. And now she's saying, when I wake, my body shudders just a second. So she feels like a failure?
Well, yeah, I mean, she, you know, the relationship is over, so I think she feels like a failure, regardless as to whether or not it's, you know, logically consistent.
Okay, no forgiveness is for who?
I think no forgiveness is for the guy, because he says, when I was awake, my body shoulders, just a little risk, just a stack of failure, no hope to bounce back.
Oh, wait, so you think that this is the guy talking?
Yeah, I think the pre-chorus is a guy, and then the girl is in the chorus is finally, you know, responding to him. That's what it looks like to me. See what I'm saying?
I see. Okay.
And now, like...
I mean, she said, I hate you a lot. I'm such a fool, just a bore, no interest. I don't think of you just getting away. When I get to sleep in my dreams, you're nowhere to be seen. So, yeah, I mean, this is male to female relationship issues, like getting to the point where, like, you hate someone, like, don't give a shit no more. Like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, to repeat that over and over again. I mean, I think that it's done. I don't know. You might have to try to see a therapist, see if that works. I do think that Christians can bounce back from stuff.
Sure.
Because there's a supernatural element to it. So, you know, when you factor that in, that does change things. I liked the song. I mean, it was, I'm not like a big giant baby metal fan. So, but I still, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a giant baby metal fan either per se, but this song was just incredible.
Those girls could fucking play those instruments.
That's what I'm saying. The musicianship was insane.
I said, what
really
in
crazy.
The world? Yeah. So they're getting points for that for sure. I'm gonna give this one an 8.9. Where you at?
8.9. I'll give you an 8.9.
Same thing.
8.9. 8.9. All right, guys. Wait a second.
Yep, one more baby.
We got another song for you coming.
Yeah,
it's baby metal. We're not even going to go to the commercial. Everybody think Mike Franco for this. I think this is another one of Franco's.
Yes, it is. F.HERO X BODYSLAM X BABYMETAL. I don't know if I read that right. Leave it all behind. My comments for this song, says DJ Mike Franco. This song has 3 different genres on music: metalcore, hip hop, and rock. BABYMETAL is a metal band from Japan. BODYSLAM is a rock band from Thailand. And F.HERO is a rapper from Thailand. Together they collaborated to create, in my opinion, one of the top songs in 2024. If the Imperishable Flames can collaborate, why can't they? Enjoy this unique pick. Much love from Brooklyn.
All right, it's Brooklyn in the house. All right, here we go. Leave it all behind. Let's do it.
Let's check it out.
โยนทิ้งทุกความในใจที่พังโยนทิ้งทุกความคาดหวังที่หมดความหมาย Leave it all behind Leave it all behind Leave it all behindโยนความเจ็บมันทิ้งไปโลดอย่าน้อยใจในโชคให้อภัยในโทษดวงอาทิตย์ยังจุดไฟโชนทางไกลโคตรยามขึ้นลงพิโรธเธออาจคิดว่ามหาสมุทรนั้นช่างกว้างใหญ่ไพโรจน์แต่ทะเลน้ำตาของมนุษย์ต่างหากกว้างใหญ่ที่สุด don't you mean?